Welcome to the Talltale Tavern Halloween special episodes. This is the monthly one-shot adventure TTRPG podcast. I am your tavern master and host, Kyle. Joining me at the bar this month is Brian, who bought way too many dice at Gen Con, but is going to do his best to justify that purchase now. Why are words so hard tonight? Welcome, Brian, back.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
You are playing Bartholomew Banks, a.k.a. Theo, who has been transformed into a weretiger.
It's
AKA
Thala.
Bart.
Just
Thala.
Everyone calls me Thala.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure they call you Bart.
Pretty sure it's Bart.
Agree to disagree.
Also new to D&D, but trying her best, Rachel is back. Welcome back, Rachel.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, playing Wanda Sackler-Blood, who has been transformed into a vampire. Welcome. Excited to see a vampire with a horde of little rats.
Rats.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have also tonight a guy whose wife has started watching the show. Shout out to Melissa, and thanks for lending us your husband, James. Welcome, James.
Thanks. It's good to be back.
Playing Theodore Bagby Mansfield, who has been transformed into the Bagman, this large bag horror monster. So great. And then last, I suppose not least, voted sexiest podcaster alive by me and my fan blog for the last 3 years running, Scott Esmond. Welcome back, Scott.
I was going to say I'd like to see a link to that fan blog, but I don't think I want to, actually. Don't send me any links to that, Kyle.
No.
Keep that to yourself. It's good to be here. It's good to be back. Also, I'm sorry to Melissa that James has forced you to start watching this podcast.
He did send us a picture of you on the couch, like handcuffed to the couch. Actually.
Yeah, and I saw her with a piece of glass in that picture, tossing it on the ground. It looked like as punishment for him. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. That's why I was late today.
How is that foot? Is it healing
It's
up?
fine. I've got a Band-Aid on it. I'm sure it'll grow septic and I'll keel over a couple hours from now. But for now, we're good.
Okay, for now, great.
Just make it
The
till
show
the end
must
of the
go
episode.
on.
Yeah.
Well, tonight we go back to the Earth franchise of the Talltale Tavern. On a brisk autumn afternoon, our storyteller millennial woman, dressed in plaid with a Rugrats undershirt, continues her story of these 4 kids having a wonderful Halloween in 1998 and attending the Salem Heights annual Monster Bash, their town, where the old woman Marianne Mathers finally enacted her plan of turning all the children in the town into monsters in order to get revenge on their parents, of which she blames for her daughter being estranged, her daughter that grew up with their parents. Defending the parents in the town square, the children have successfully charmed a thrilling zombie, summoned a swarm of rats, blasted, slashed, bagged, and terrified some decorations come to life, attacking the decorations which were attacking them, their parents, and the other children that were turned into monsters in the town. They now stand guarding their parents as the second wave of this horde has arrived. A 20-foot skeleton, the giant first place competition pumpkin, and the giant spider from the ropes course have all arrived to the square. Our storyteller in the tavern takes a sip of her pumpkin spice espresso with a shot of Bailey's and continues the tale in the second half of the Monster Bash. Roll the intro. Wanda, Theodore, Corey, and Bartholomew. You see a gargantuan spider crawling over the gazebo, a 20-foot tall skeleton coming from the right, and a huge pumpkin coming from the left. You look to the center of the square where your parents who do not recognize you or the other kids as their children. It's like this transformation has rendered it almost impossible for them to recognize you as their own. You see the other children of the town surrounding the core of the parents in the middle. You see Chaz, the football star, and the rest of his football team now fully looking like a horde of zombie football players. You see the girls dressed as the Sanderson sisters, now fully just the Sanderson sisters standing there. You see the Ninja Turtles, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, ghosts, superheroes, fighters, princesses, and a black cat running in between, all looking at you in awe of the spiders, skeleton zombies, and the mini witches that you had just defeated. The Michael Jackson zombie stands next to you, Wanda, that zombie with the red leather jacket with the dancing moves, and as does your swarm of rats. And you have a moment standing in this square as these giant beasts come into the square to attack. You have a moment to try and come up with a plan.
Is that all
What
of
do we
us?
do, Wanda?
Or is it just Wanda? Is Wanda in charge?
Oh no, all of you. So you guys are
I thought it was
standing-
Wanda
Yeah, you
only.
specifically were talking about what was by Wanda, so it was like, what?
Oh no,
Oh,
sorry.
I like to
No,
think
no, here,
Wanda
let
in
me
her
rephrase
vampire
that.
form is just like standing there in shock. And the rats too.
You are all standing there
Okay.
and looking to each other, reacting to this and your changes, and wonder and seeing these monsters come in. What do you do?
I telepathically, I'm like, Barty, the smarty, you're the DM. What do we do, dude?
Okay, so I know this is stressful, but I prefer to go by Thala. Thala Champagnon of the Mountain, if you don't mind. And we're gonna attack.
Tell me where shooting fireballs at.
I'm going for the spider. Pumpkins burn.
Pumpkins burn.
Go for pumpkins. I don't think bones burn.
Well, Theo looks over at the two and then at Wanda and goes, "Do you want to handle the skeleton together?"
Are you allowed to speak? You disgusting
Wanda's
bag
like,
monster?
as her vampire form, like, yes. And then she motions the Michael Jackson zombie, and the rats like do a green squeak.
I was gonna say I should remind the viewers that because it's been 2 weeks since you saw us, that Theo, when he speaks, doesn't actually exhale air. Whenever he opens his mouth as the Bagman, it draws in air, and so all of his speech is through drawing air back into his lungs or whatever is in the inside of the Bagman. So it sounds something like this. And so we don't subject you to 3 hours of that. We'll just describe his speech like that from here on.
Can't breathe.
The gaping maw that takes up the bottom half of the Bagman's face that consumes all can make some sounds. It's hard to make out, but distinct enough that the rest of the group can hear him.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the
Now, hold on,
spider
did you just tell me to
crawls.
give him my inhaler? Because
Yeah.
I don't think my character sheet does have an inhaler on it.
Oh, I think I just assumed.
I did a good job.
The spider crawls over the gazebo, entering the square. The skeleton steps forward, and the pumpkin with its vines crawls forward. And everybody, roll for initiative.
Whoop. Horn Devil. what's your
Oh
dex,
goodness.
I got Wanda got 9.
Well, you might be higher if we use our monster's dexterity, or do we use our? I can't remember.
Use
Which
your
are we
monsters.
using?
All right,
Use
good.
your monsters.
Then I'm
Dex.
a 15.
So that would be 9 plus 4.
So there you go. That'd be 13.
Can I use my character's dexterity?
No.
All right. Theo rolled a 4 then.
Live by the bag, die by the bag. All right.
That's right.
Okay, Theodore rolled a 4.
He's not terribly speedy, but he is very scary.
Rachel, what was your vampires? What was what'd you roll?
13.
13. Then Corey.
Sorry. Mine was 15.
All that thrash metal got you pumped up.
Yeah.
Thala.
12.
All right, Corey, you're up. The horned devil.
Yeah. Well, I rock and roll, dudes, and I just am gonna fly and start hurling flames at that pumpkin. I mean, I was told to attack the pumpkin. So, yeah, I would like to get above it if I can and just throw 3 giant hurled flames at it.
Okay.
So let's see. First one is a 13 to hit.
13 does not hit,
Well,
unfortunately.
this game sucks, and I'm not playing anymore. Second one is a 23 to hit.
23 hits.
Never mind, this game rules, and I love it. Let's do it. Well, that one. Well, let's see if the other one hits, I guess, before I waste time with that. Let's see. How much is. Oh, come on. The next one's a 14 to hit.
14 hits.
Hey, look at that. We just learned that pumpkin's AC, everybody. That is then 31 fire damage total from those two.
31. What does it look like when Corey as the Horned Devil uses his fire
He
attack?
flew up there and he's got both hands in like devil horns while he's doing it. It looks like Spider-Man shooting webs, but it's rock and roll devil horns while he's shooting them down at this pumpkin. Sorry, that's what I'm attacking now, is the pumpkin.
Good.
Just giant lines of fire going down as he cackles in his kind of laughter that he has.
Awesome. The nightmare skeleton takes a step forward and makes a sweeping attack with its giant bony hand, and it is going to be attacking. Let's see, the Bagman, because it's a Bagman, and you guys, you two are going for the skeleton, right? Yeah. So you guys kind of moved over there. So it makes a sweeping attack. Yeah, that is a 26 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, it hits, but instead of taking damage, it grapples you and it picks you up in, it tries to grapple you. But the Bagman has special abilities, doesn't it?
That's true. He is immune to being restrained.
Okay, so it tries to grapple you and you just like slip through its fingers like that bag just like collapses, and so it actually is unable to grapple you, and then it decides to just swing again to hit this time, and that's a 16 to hit.
It misses.
It misses. And
Bobbing and weaving.
And it's got one attack left, and it tries to hit you again as it is getting frustrated, and that's a 27 to hit.
That will land.
And you are going to take 35 points of slashing damage as this giant hand slashes through you.
Ouchie.
Ripples the bag. And Wanda, you're up.
All right. I think I want to do a multi-attack on the skeleton.
Okay.
If I remember, that was 2d8s, right? We changed it from 1d8 to 2d8.
Yes. So your the attack, that was the damage. I think we had doubled your rolls for the damage, if I remember.
So it says the vampire makes 2 attacks, only one of which can be a bite. So I guess the first one, she'll just like swipe, with her vampire claw. So for that, I'll do d20 plus 9. So that's a 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Awesome. Okay. So she's going to now roll for damage. 2d8 plus 4. So 6, 10 damage. And then if my second attack is the bite, then for that I'll roll my 2d6.
Right, but I think you
Correct.
can only do the
Or does it?
bite if you grapple them first.
Well, then she's really into like the vampire mode right now, so she's just going crazy with the claws on the skeleton.
It makes sense. Also, I mean, I feel like if I were a vampire too, I'd be thinking, can I suck the blood out of a skeleton? I guess I'm going for the marrow
bite.
at this point.
You gotta bite pretty deep to get to that marrow,
So she's just swiping. Listen, she's very into it. A 3
Plus your 9 to hit.
Plus 9.
plus 9.
Yeah, so
Be a
12.
So
12,
12.
unfortunately, does not hit.
Unfortunate.
Okay.
She slips, I guess.
Anything you'd like to do with your turn?
No, I think she's gonna stay there. I don't think the rats. can
The rats
attack
have a
on her.
turn after you, and
Okay.
so
That's
yeah,
right.
you have I think 3 swarms of rats, or 4 swarms of rats, and so yeah. So go ahead and roll. You can what we can do is kind of see if they hit. Roll to hit for them. If you want to go ahead and roll 4 times with it and see how many hit, and then we can do kind of their damage as their average damage.
Yeah. So just 4
4d20s.
separate, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one is 13 plus. I don't think they're rat.
They have +2. The
Plus
swarm
2.
of rats.
So
Hey, that
15
hits.
for the first one. 3 for the second one.
Nope.
9 for the third.
Miss. Yep.
Unfortunate. Oh, okay. 21 for the fourth.
That hits.
All right.
And so
Alright.
14 extra damage as your rats swarm up the legs of one of the legs of this giant skeleton and just start biting, just nibbling at the bones of this giant, creepy looking skeleton man. And it looks down and it has these deep dark eyes, and it looks down at you guys, and the skeleton, just the eyes are pits of blackness that seem to go on forever into eternity. And next, Brian, or I should say, Thala, you're up.
All right. How far am I from the spider, and where is it?
Spider's on the gazebo. You can reach it. We're all kind of close quarters, and
Okay.
you had kind of squared up with it.
Okay, I just feel overtaken by the urge to attack this thing, so I am going to run right at it and pounce on it.
Okay.
An 18.
18 hits.
That will do 15 points of damage,
Good.
and then it has to make a DC 14 strength save.
Okay, it's strength. Oh, it rolled a nat 1. So
Not good enough.
it was surprised at this tiger leaping against it, and much like imagine a spider on rollerblades with all the wheels going in opposite directions, it slips and just falls and falls kind of on the gazebo, kind of cracking it and crumpling it in one section.
So with the pounce, if I knock them prone, I can automatically do a bonus bite attack.
Heck yeah.
So how does a 23 to hit sound?
Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds real good.
Take that. And then 14 of damage from that.
14. Very good. Then you've got some more attacks, don't you?
I do. It's all claws. That's all I got. So, going to make the remaining. So I have 3 since that was a bonus one. Okay, luck ran out. Got 10. It doesn't feel like a hit.
Oh, a 10 does not hit.
A 12
A 12 does not hit.
and a 13.
Oh, 13 does not hit.
Oh no!
Oh man.
At least
The
I bit it.
spider, it is prone though, and it's got its legs up in the air, like swimming around.
Corey was so
So he's
amped.
got prone. So it's prone though. Don't you have you probably have advantage to prone?
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess so. My
You
2,
do.
4, and
Reroll
5 get
those.
rerolled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
re-roll those bad boys.
Okay, well that'll miss. A 19 and a 21.
Those hit.
Okay. Feel so powerful right now.
It's all the sugar from the candy.
It is. 28 from that.
Damage.
Yes.
Ooh,
You kidding me? Barty, the smarty over here, probably saves his candy out throughout the whole year because he can't handle that much sugar in a single night or whatever.
No, I'm not allowed to have candy at home.
What are
Those
we
the one
even
time I'm
doing
not
out here then,
supervised.
dude? If you can't
Does that
have
mean
No,
it,
I can
just,
only
like-
eat it out here.
That means he just houses it before he gets home. He just like hoovers all of it.
That spider's on its back, and you're just ripping into it, and it's clamp, clamp. You hear the fangs on it kind of clamping back and forth, kind of like Shelob and you know the in the Lord of the Rings, the like noise that Shelob
You mean in the
makes.
Hobbit sequel? I'm joking.
yeah, my favorite sequel to The Hobbit. Ooh.
And also, these are not ferocious attacks. Like, once it's laying down, I'm just sitting there, like,
Bang.
getting it.
Okay, you're just batting at them.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Corey was like really amped thinking that Bart looked cool destroying public property when he hurt the gazebo, and I was gonna yell something out, but then I see you just kind of limply patting at the spider, and I'm never mind.
The spider flips and looks at you angrily and sticks one of its forelegs out at you for a nat 1 to hit. Oh my gosh. Misses, and
Also, I don't want to be that one. It has 8 legs, not 4.
oh,
Well,
did I say foreleg? Okay, stupid.
Well, the other 4 are
technically
arms.
those like
I mean,
Halloween spiders are like 4 legs, right?
I guess. I don't know. Some-
Well, it looks at you and it tries to sink its fangs into you, jumps at you, this terrifyingly large spider. 2 nat 1s in a row! What is happening?
Spider is cursed.
happening?
The spider is cursed.
The spider is not having it. The giant pumpkin, this giant pumpkin that had won first place, it's got its blue ribbon stuck to it, is crawling with its vines closer into this. Scott, I forgot to mention, when you hit it with the fire, it did take some extra damage on that fire. More than you'd expect. It burned a little bit more. And it is crawling in, and it goes up on the vines and actually leaps up about 3 feet in the air and lands thump on the ground. And everybody make a dexterity saving throw as this giant pumpkin hits the ground and shakes the ground, and you have to make sure you have your footing
people
here.
whose description of attacking was that they flew up into the air?
Does not. You are
Okay,
in
good.
the air. You are in the air.
Oh dear. 6.
6.
6.
That is, and
11?
and Brian.
I'm a cat, so I got a nat 20 on that one.
Of course you did.
Good. So you all flip and fall, but Brian, of course, you are a cat, so you land on your feet because cats always land on their feet.
I mean, it's a rule.
And so, yeah. But you guys are all prone as this thing shakes the entire courtyard. You see, like the football players, the zombie football players, those Sanderson sisters, Ninja Turtles, all these. Most of the kids kind of fall with this. Only a few are kind of standing and laying prone. And this pumpkin looks up at you, Scott, who is flying. And it takes one of its stems and it whips at you, and it is going to be a 25 to hit.
I mean, I feel pretty confident that that's gonna hit.
And it whips at you for 19 points of slashing damage as this whip slashes you across the chest, and it pulls you 10 feet closer.
I'd like to use a reaction to Hellish Rebuke it.
Okay.
When it does that. So yeah, if I'm being damaged by a creature within 60 feet of you, you can see you point your finger at that creature that damaged you, and it's momentarily surrounded by hellish flames, and it must make a dexterity saving throw, or take 2d10 fire damage.
2d10. It rolled a 7.
Okay, well, it definitely failed its check. So, dude, when it hits me, I pointed at it. I'm like, what the hell? And then I said hell while pointing at it, and that makes all the fire come up.
Great. Roll the damage.
Right, 2d10 fire damage. Let's see what it is. Hey, 19. You like to see that.
19.
That's about as good as it can get.
And yeah, you see as it as that hellish rebuke burns this pumpkin and it's on fire, taking more and more damage. It hits you with another stem whip. Another vine rips out of the ground and attacks and tries to hit you for an 11 to hit.
That does not hit.
And misses. Next to you, Wanda, Michael Jackson zombies kind of whatever, kind of looking. And it is actually starts doing a little bit of a dance, looking at this giant skeleton that's looking down at you. And you just see that it starts doing the Thriller dance, and the target is going to have to make a charisma saving throw as looks like it might be distracted by your Michael Jackson zombie friend, and it is going to roll, and it fails that roll, and so it is looking just very, very, very stunned, looking at your Michael Jackson zombie friend dancing in front of it, and going to take some psychic damage from this. It is so confused at this. Yeah. And it stuns, and it looks stunned, and it takes 23 points of psychic damage.
Wow. This thing's got some moves. This zombie can really dance.
Yes, it's very good. That is Michael Jackson's turn, and it is Theodore Bagby, the Bagman. You're up.
So the Bagman is prone, and I did a little searching around. The Bagman is always under the effect of blink, and unfortunately, I was thinking that might allow me to disappear in one position and reappear in another, having risen from a prone position, but it doesn't look like I can do that. So I think the only thing that he can do is right himself. He blinks out of existence and then reappears in exactly the same spot, but he's standing now. And I think that ends his turn unless I'm within attacking distance of the skeleton.
You are, but yeah. So going from prone to standing doesn't take an action, right? So because you're prone,
it takes half your movement.
Half your movement speed. Yeah.
Okay.
So
great.
you're able to. It doesn't take an action to stand up.
Okay. Well, in that case, he's going to blink himself back to standing, and then he is going to make an attempt to grapple the skeleton. He's returning fire, and his arms elongate, and his legs kind of thin, and his body becomes kind of rubbery, and he slimes his way up the skeleton to try to grapple it.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, is that do you use my strength or my dexterity against your strength?
Correct.
Okay. This nightmarish skeleton is very, very strong. Oh, it rolled a nat 20.
Well then.
But the modifier, that is a 27.
Yeah, my strength save is an 18, so.
Gotcha.
So I'm unable to grapple him then. Okay. Well, I think that ends my turn.
Okay. One of you had given a piece of candy to a little girl. Which one of you was that? That was you, the Bagman.
Bagman.
You, as you try to grapple this skeleton and kind of go back to the ground, underneath the legs of the skeleton, you see the parents of that child running as if they were coming from the neighborhood, and just run underneath the skeleton and kind of run into the middle, back where all the parents are, and they look terrified. You kind of look at them like, what is happening? And all of a sudden you hear this thud, thud, thud on the ground, and you look through underneath the skeleton's legs, and you just see this massive reptilian foot behind it. And you look as this bright green Godzilla-like creature with purple scales walks in, and you just hear this massive roar, Reptar!
Yes!
And it shoots out from its mouth this beam of radiant light at the skeleton. And that is going to be a Yes, a hit. And the skeleton is going to be takes 83 points of radiant damage.
What the hell?
As this atomic breath from this giant Godzilla reptar rips through it, exploding the skeleton, and it goes forward at an angle. Luckily, away from the breath is angled just away from the group as this radiant beam stretches and rips through the ground and causes the ground to become a giant trench that is now on fire and moves forward. Let me look at the map of this town, because it continues to rip forward through, and you can see that it takes out part of the shops behind it. You can see where you had previously walked by a bakery shop. That bakery shop is now obliterated as this beam has ripped completely through it. And all of a sudden, there is a Godzilla on the court. A Reptar, excuse me, on the court. And we're back up at the top of the initiative with Corey.
Dude, is Rugrats metal? Whoa. Do you think that thing took out the school? Fingers crossed.
The school is next to it, so actually did not. I did reference the map.
You're right. Damn it. Can I mean, if I have telepathy up to 120 feet away, can I try to talk into the Reptar's brain to see who it is? See if it's that same little girl in there? Or
I was going to say, who is that?
I was like, yo, who are you? What is this? Like, I just...
Yeah. And you hear, I am Reptar! Yeah! And like, you just hear this little girl voice that's just the most excited 4-year-old you've ever heard.
Good.
And so that's what you hear.
Hell yeah, Reptar! Attack the pumpkin and the spider, but not the other monsters, please.
Woo!
Okay.
That's what you hear.
Yeah. Cool. And then, well, Reptar really changes up how I was feeling about what I was going to do on my turn. Now, I'm gonna I'll fly down, and the spider that Barty the Smarty's fighting with, I'm just gonna fly down and just try to hit it too while it's on him. Why not? You know?
Okay.
Yeah. Get near it, land next to him, whatever I have to do. To multi-attack it. I guess I could keep attacking my pumpkin. It's still alive. I forgot. My Hellish Rebuke and Fire didn't kill it. So never mind. Sorry, Barty. I'm gonna fly at the pumpkin and try to hit it for hitting me earlier. Okay? We all feel good about that because that's what's happening.
I feel good about it.
I feel great about it. First attack to hit is... Oh, good. We got a nat 20 on our first one to hit.
Good.
Of the multi-attack. So double the dice on that one.
Double that dice.
Excellent. First one is... Well, doubling dice didn't do much. So that's 21 damage on my first pitchfork hit.
Okay.
Next one to hit. Wow, I am rolling really well. That's 19 plus 10. So yeah, 29 to hit, I think is going to be fine.
That is fine.
So that is... Okay, another... Oh, wrong thing. Correct. Not rolling well on damage, though, so that's the one saving grace here. And then last attack will be with my tail. I'll tell you all the damage at the end. Why not? Last attack will be with the tail to hit. And this one... Ooh, of course, is only a 15 to hit. But that does hit the pumpkin.
It sure does.
Nice. If the target is a creature other than an undead or a construct, I guess the pumpkin might be an undead or a construct. I don't know. If it's not those things, it has to succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or this is where...
Yeah, it's gonna have to. So
Okay,
what's the
17
yeah.
is what it needs to.
It rolled a 3, another nat 1. Boy,
Okay.
these guys are not doing well.
Okay, so then it's gonna take 3d6 hit points at the start of each of its turns now due to the infernal wound that it now has. So we won't factor that into its damage right now, but right now that's 25, 35. That's 47 damage on the hits with the tail and the pitchfork, though.
Okay.
And then it will have to do that 3d10 on its turn.
With your pitchfork, you stab it. You stab it, and it creates a large hole in in the face of this pumpkin. You stab it again with another hole. This fire that's already there is starting to consume the pumpkin, and all of a sudden it rips through, and the mouth it almost opens up like a mouth, and you see a jack-o'-lantern face.
Carving this bad boy up, yeah.
And it has taken so much damage that it does one final explosion, and you need to make a dexterity save.
Oh. Okay. I will give you a dexterity save then, Kyle. 25?
25.
Yeah.
And you are there flying in the air as these seeds, pumpkin seeds, blast at you in this whirlwind. You're able to get through most of them, but you do take some damage here from these saves as this pumpkin is exploding and becoming dead. And so let me roll the damage here.
Why am I the only one getting hit?
It was like a claymore. It's a directional explosion.
And these seeds hit you and rip your skin and your skin, and it just rip you up a little bit. You take 10 points of piercing damage. Seed damage.
Yeah.
And the pumpkin collapses in a heap.
Good.
And then next up we have the Wanda. You're up.
Blah.
I think I'm gonna do another multi-attack if I can.
Okay, you have
Just
the
keep
only thing
swiping.
left here in this that is the spider. The
the
skeleton
spider?
is been decimated by the reptar.
Is she close enough to
Am I
make it across?
close? I
gonna
have.
So you can make it there. This courtyard's not super big. It's
Okay, I was gonna say I have 30 feet
only
of
it's about
movement as a
25
bat.
feet to the spider.
Okay, I guess could she, if I don't use the action to shapeshift, I could like poof into a bat and then just like beep 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 and fly over near the spider and then poof back into the vampire.
Yep, go ahead, because we
All
are
right.
foregoing the action portions of our shape changing for the
All right.
funsies.
So she just like I like to think Wanda does a very dramatic like pose before she poofs into a bat and like flies over to the spider. And then she's going to poof back into her vampire form and go for a multi-attack against the spider. So that is going to be D20 to hit. Ooh, 13 plus, I forget again.
Plus 9.
9, yeah, 13 plus 9.
13 plus 9 will hit.
20.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
22,
Yep.
definitely.
Yeah, 22. Alrighty. Awesome. Let's see. 2d8 plus 4. So that's going to be 7 damage. Correct?
7 damage. Oh, 2d8
Right.
plus 4.
If
That's
you
bad.
only rolled 3, I guess, on those 2 d8s, which is unfortunate.
So she's just gonna once again
Now,
go
you could
crazy
not-
with the claws.
Okay, I was
Wait.
gonna say, remember, you could also grapple it instead of doing damage and then try to do the bite.
I think she's gonna go for that. I
Okay.
don't imagine spider to taste very good, but
So you
Probably
you
better than
grappled
bones,
it
though.
first. Yep.
yeah. So she's going to.
And this is a gargantuan creature, and so you're not able to grapple it in the sense that it won't be able to move, but you are able to grapple it as in be able to make a bite attack.
Makes sense. So then it's
yeah,
just
that makes
another attack
sense.
to hit, but this time with your bite attacks stats or whatever.
So that'd be 2d6 plus 4.
But
So
first you have to roll the hit, right?
Yep, the bite.
Still.
roll to hit
Okay.
to bite. Ooh.
I just
Let's
can't remember what else even
see.
happened.
13 to hit.
Is
13
that plus
is-
9 or is that what
Oh.
you rolled?
That's with the 9, unfortunately.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
misses. You try to bite the
She, like, bites
but
her
the
tongue.
exoskeleton. Yeah, the exoskeleton's a little bit too hard. You don't make it through all the way. And is that your turn?
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay.
Do you want to go ahead and do the rats again, or?
Yes, the rats. So go ahead and roll 4 d20s. We'll see how much
All right.
damage these rats can do.
So the first one is 11.
Nope, 11 won't hit.
12. For
12
the
does
second
not
one.
hit.
22 for
22
the
hits.
third.
That's
Let's
a
go.
nat 20.
There we go. Yeah, that's a nat 20. It must
Let's
be.
go.
Yeah.
Oh, a nat 20. Okay, we'll double that. We'll just call it double. 14 damage on that.
Oh, a 13 for the fourth.
13 does not hit. So for 14 damage, the rats go up and they start nibbling. They get on its face and they're nibbling at its eyes. You know, all those eyes that this spider has, and just scratching at them does 14 damage to this giant spider. It's not having a good time. It is not having a good time. And Thala, you're up.
So, in typical cat fashion, I'm just like sitting there facing it. I'm just gonna kind of turn and walk away a little bit. And I'm doing this with Zephyr Strike, so it won't get an opportunity attack on me.
Okay, nice.
So I just kind of wander away disinterested. Get about like 20 feet away, and I just turn around and I pounce again.
Nice.
Had to get it unsuspecting. 27.
27 hits.
I would hope.
I was gonna say I can't imagine that misses.
That's not that die. So that is 19 of damage, and it has to succeed the DC 14 or get knocked down again.
On the strength?
Strength, yes.
25.
That's above 14.
It was able to steady itself. It had remembered what had happened before.
And I'm pretty angry, so I'm just gonna bap at it a few more times.
Good. Pretty angry, so we're going.
But like, you can tell they're kind of like irritated baps. 10's probably not gonna hit. A dirty 20 and a 22.
Yes, those hit.
Now, when you say you're irritated, how far back are your ears as a cat right now? Just to
Like,
give me the
so you
idea.
can see from the side.
Yeah.
Like they're.
Oh wow, they're back.
Oh,
Okay, that's an
okay.
irritated
Yeah.
cat. You don't want to mess with that cat.
Like there's flat, right? There's flat, and then there's like back.
Just do it, adding all this together. 34 points of damage with a little bit of a hiss in there too. And then the like, the one that like really means you should back off.
Okay. And that was how much damage did you say?
34.
34. How do you want to do it with this bap on this spider? Because this is going to take it out.
I'm sorry, Corey. It's not going to be very cinematic. It's just gonna kind of like lop down, and then I'm gonna walk away.
Good. You just bap it and it.
Yeah, and then I just like turn and walk like I have better things to do.
Tuesday at the office, man.
What the hell, dude? Who's gonna clean that up? You're just gonna leave it there? I mean, just kill it and leave it?
Not gonna eat that. That's gross.
Corey, aren't you just gonna set it on fire anyway?
Hell yeah, I am.
Michael Jackson is kind of just standing there, moonwalking around, and turns to Godzilla, turns to Reptar, and swings at it with his leg.
Whoa.
Oh no.
And he is going to
What the hell?
hit it.
There's no way
And
he's
he is
beating
going to
Godzilla's
do-
AC. Come on.
Reptar, is that the freaking smash Michael Jackson?
He
like
rolled
a
a nat. He rolled a nat 20 on his hit with
I'd
his
like to
leg.
see the
And so
I'd like to see a replay, please.
and hits Godzilla, or I keep saying Godzilla. It hits Reptar. Hits Reptar with his leg once, and then he swings again and misses the second hit. And I gotta check to see how many times he can actually. How many times he can kick.
This is devolving into a brawl.
Michael Jackson versus Reptar, just how we always knew it was going to go down, I guess.
If there was ever going to be an apocalypse, it had to involve this,
And he does
right?
those two kicks and God, and it is actually Bagman's turn.
So,
What was the name of the girl who's in the Reptar costume again?
I don't know that we ever got one.
I don't think we did.
Is it Annie? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay?
What the the most like it's like almost like she gives if you're talking to her, you hear this like the giggle of a child hitting her. Like that's how much damage, and he does damage, right? This is a giant reptar.
Yeah.
and it's like a plaything just hit her.
Yes.
And you're up. You are up, Bagman.
What are the rules of engagement here? And so, I mean, do I need to take an action to consult with my team? I don't know what to do.
Dude, kill the zombie.
All right, I'm
to
killing
take
the zombie.
action.
So,
Wait, what if the zombie's another kid? I'm sure it's fine.
well, I gotta think about that. No, the zombie was a toy. The zombie was a lawn decoration.
Yep. The zombie, you had met it in a lawn.
That's
as a
right.
decoration.
So, lawn decoration definitely takes backseat to 4-year-old girl who we love and who I gave candy to.
Do we want to debate this before you just decide unilaterally?
Yeah, this
Nope,
destruction
we're doing
of
this.
that's
I'm
destruction
the leader of
private
this group.
property.
I'm the oldest. I am making this decision. So, here's a question for you, Kyle. Would the zombie be surprised if the Bagman suddenly appeared beside it and attacked it?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
That's a Bagman's whole thing, is it just pops out of nowhere and it's got
It very
that.
much is.
So in this instance, yes, the zombie is going to be surprised.
Okay. So, the Bagman has an innate ability called Jump Scare. So any creature surprised by the Bagman is frightened. Must make a DC 13 Wisdom save at the end of their turn to end the effect.
Okay.
So it's just by appearing next to it, it's frightened unless it's immune to frighten because it's a zombie. It's entirely possible it's immune to fear, but I don't...
Not to you. It's
Okay.
not.
And then the Bagman also has advantage on attacks against frightened... I'm sorry. There's another chain, the link in the chain. He has an ability called Harvest the Fear, which gives the Bagman advantage on attacks against frightened creatures and may grapple them as a bonus action. So
Okay.
the Bagman disappears, blinks out of existence where he is, reappears beside zombie Michael Jackson, and is going to attack him, and then as a bonus action, grapple him after the attacks are done.
Yep. And it comes out of like a bag, right? So like there's some kid that dropped their bag on the ground, and the Bagman just like swoops, it crawls, comes out of this small bag and appears right in front of him. And so, yeah, go ahead.
Here's a question for all you bag heads out there. Is a pocket a bag?
Yes. Gotta be, right?
21.
And that's to
That's the first of
Sorry.
his two multi-attacks.
So that's a yes, that hits.
Okay, and then 11.
11 does not hit.
But I get advantage on all attacks against frightened creatures. So I can tell
Okay,
you
go ahead
that
and roll
one.
both of them again. See if you get a natty.
Okay, 15 and nat 1. Wow. Okay, so only one of those is hitting. But we'll do 5d6 damage.
Measly 5d6 damage.
And in addition, so that's 21 damage to the zombie, and part of his astral claws are that he does an additional 2d6 necrotic damage to any enemy that's frightened.
Okay.
So that's an additional 11 damage for a total of 32.
Okay.
Really fucked
And
this
so it
zombie
was
up.
automatically frightened by that.
Correct.
Frightful. Yep. Okay.
And then as a bonus action, he can grapple.
Okay.
And he would have to beat an 18 strength.
He rolled an 8.
He is not going anywhere.
Well, hold on 1 second. Let's see. One thing. So on one of your attacks, remind me, what was your attack dice to hit on that first attack? It was like a 18 or something, or?
There was a 21.
Okay. So you, on that attack, you swiped at him, and he used a reaction, and his reaction was that he was standing straight as a board and leaned forward very, very far as you tried to hit. Unfortunately, though, it wasn't enough. It didn't add enough to his AC. He still got hit on that, but he did attempt to dodge out of the way of your swipe by doing that lean forward, and had failed that. And he is now he is frightened of you, and so will be doing that on his turn, be having to run. It is Reptar's turn, however.
Oh no.
Oh god.
And
Sure
Reptar,
you want to be grappling this thing?
I am regretting my decisions immediately. I may have put myself in harm's way here.
Reptar leans down and screams into Michael Jackson. Nothing comes out for this isn't the atomic breath ability that it has. But Michael Jackson, already being frightened, is going to have disadvantage on this roll to be, I guess, doubly frightened. And he is afraid of you and now of Reptar. And Reptar looks down at it and swipes at it with its massive, massive claws. The first hit is going to be... that is a 29 to hit. So that hits. And it's going to do 21 slashing damage on that first one. The second one is going to hit as well with a 24 to hit. And does 26 points of damage. And then finally it reaches down to bite.
Oh my gosh.
And does a massive, another 29 to hit. And with its bite, reaches down and does 29 points of damage with its bite and just chomps Michael Jackson in half, and he is gone. The poor Michael Jackson zombie has been defeated, and Reptar flings his body, doesn't really eat it, but just flings the body away.
He doesn't eat it.
And the dust kind of settles a little bit on the battlefield, and you guys look to each other, look to each other triumphantly as you have defeated these massive creatures, these massive enemies, and you are a bit tired, doing all of this, and you do look around and see past the edges of the town, and you start to see more skeletons. More pumpkins crawling towards the center. You see various other spiders, creepy crawlies, more of these decorations from the town that are coming towards the center of the town square. And you looked at each other thinking, oh, okay, I guess this is it. But before you start, you go into action, you hear the voice of Chaz, the football player, and he says, okay, all right, let's do it. Form up, and he yells to his football squad, and they form a line, and he goes, hut, hike, and they charge towards a group of skeletons. The Sanderson sisters get on their broomsticks and their vacuum, and they go up into the air and start flinging green energy at these different decorations that have come. The Ninja Turtle bros, they high five and do some rolls and start attacking this group of pumpkins, slashing away at them. And you stand there and realize that the rest of these kids have now taken action, seeing your actions to defend the town square, and are now fending off the various decorations in the town. And you feel like you have a moment to pause and recollect here. And we are out of initiative as this chaos continues to happen around you a little bit.
Hell yeah!
That was a lot.
All right, dudes. I think it's gonna work out. Everyone's killing all the monsters, so I guess we're good now.
I mean, yeah, be the violence you want to see in the world and like put it right.
Wanda's like caressing her rats.
Like, I don't.
Cool.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to spend the rest of my life looking like this. And he kind of like gestures at the like horrid mottled dead flesh that makes up most of his body. And
I think you look sick as hell, dude.
I look sick, like I'm about to die.
And I like being Thala, I'm going to be honest, but I don't love listening to you right now, Theo. It's unpleasant.
I don't like listening to me either. All I can hear in my mind is like,
back?
and then every once in a while it gets so loud I can't hear you guys.
I feel like I'm connected to hell in ways that I never could have dreamed. So this is kind of awesome, but I mean,
your parents don't recognize you, though.
Yeah, that part I don't love, and I like setting things on fire, but not accidentally necessarily, and I'm kind of worried that I might do something.
Speaking, like, when the parents come up, Theo, like, shakes his head and is like, shh, crap, Mom and Dad, and, like, starts to search the square to see if he can find his dad and his stepmom.
Mm-hmm. And so you're able to look in this group of parents, and you scan the crowd, and you are able to see your father standing there next to his new wife, I suppose, because it's you guys have that mixed family, and you see your father. You weren't sure what he was going to be dressing up as, but you know him as a D&D nerd himself. He is a bald man with a beard, and you can see that he has painted his face purple, and his beard he has kind of colored and made it look like he's got tentacles coming off of his beard, and he is dressed as a mind flayer. But he is kind of holding on, has his arms around Teresa, Wanda, your mother, who is dressed as this mad scientist with her, big glasses on that accentuate her eyes, and her crazy hair, and her lab coat, and just looking terrified. You see next to you, you hear this big thump, and you look up at Reptar, and Reptar kind of looks down at the parents and kind of goes, "Mama," and like waves, and like her parents are freaked out. They absolutely are scared of that. And then Reptar kind of turns around, thud, and kind of looks off at some of these decorations coming in, and kind of joyfully thump, kind of goes off and just starts stomping on things as they're coming in, shaking the ground. That is what you saw with your parents there.
Best candy I ever spent.
Yeah. We got to give her more. Do you think like your dad will understand what we are? Because he knows D&D stuff.
I don't know, man. I feel like I can't be the one to tell him. You guys can barely understand me, and
you definitely can't tell anyone anything.
Terrifying. Wanda, can you change into something remotely looking like a human and maybe talk to him?
Can Wanda actually change back?
I mean, the vampire looks like a human, right?
Yeah.
Well,
you're the one that looks closest.
So, like, at the start of the campaign, when Wanda's mom was helping her get ready, and Wanda looked at her and was like, "I put a spell on you." So I think, like, as her vampire form, she's gonna like walk up to her mom and be like, "Oh, I put a spell on you."
No, that's not gonna go well at all. That sounds terrifying.
That won't be misread.
She thinks like, "Oh, maybe she'll recognize."
This is good.
Okay, this is good. Roll a persuasion roll on
was
this.
Accidentally casting
Because of
spell.
that, there's a fairly high DC for this. There's a fairly high
12.
DC for this. It is lowered because of that, slightly lowered because of that great kind of roleplay device you did. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was still higher than a 12 though, and so.
Oh no.
So you say that, and you are expecting your mother to recognize you, expecting her to react to that loving moment you had earlier, and you only see fear in her eyes.
So are my parents near? Like, are all of our parents together, or is this just
All the
Theo's
parents are
and Wanda's that we
together.
found so far?
Yep. And so you look, and you're looking for your parents. You see your mom. She's dressed as a witch. She's not really super dressed up, but she does have a little witch hat on. And your dad is wearing just a ridiculous outfit. He's got this he's wearing all white, but he's got these red polka dots, then a yellow polka dot, then blue polka dot, and he's just dressed as Twister.
Yeah.
And so he is standing kind of in front of your mom, trying to keep her safe from all of the happenings going on. That's what you see your parents there.
Okay, so I'm actually not going to go up to them. I'm going to, hey, Corey, and I'm going to switch into my human form. Do I look like me?
I don't know. Does he look like him? Why did we send Wanda over if you can just turn into a person?
You didn't let me answer.
Yeah, you do look like you, but with that, you still retain the orange hair, the orange, a little bit of orange facial hair. You do look still more like Tiger. You're not able to go completely back.
You kind of look like you if you were dressed up as a racist caricature or like a leprechaun or something, That's kind of the vibe I'm getting with this.
But I don't look
orange
like
hair
I'm some
beard.
40-year-old man or anything.
No, you don't look completely different. You
Barty,
just
you've never looked like a man. Don't worry about that.
And that's a little hurtful.
A little truthful.
I go back to hybrid form just to tuck my tail between my legs and walk over to my parents. Hey, Mom, it's me, Thala. Do you know what's happening?
you can roll persuasion. See if this
Oh.
is gonna work.
I mean,
Bet I'm great at that. I'm not.
Can Theo overhear this? Is Theo close enough
Yeah.
to overhear this? Use your real name, Bart. She's not gonna recognize that.
It's me, Barty.
yeah.
Party, party,
That was an
party.
8.
An 8. Unfortunately, no. I'm sorry.
Do you think the demon chanting Barty behind him didn't help?
Party.
I lowered the DC like I did for Wanda, but unfortunately, an 8 just doesn't make it happen. They do not recognize you, and you feel a similar dejection as that your parents not recognizing you.
Are my parents around?
Yes, they are. You look, and you remember your mother had said that their costume was a surprise, that they weren't telling you what they were wearing. And so you see your mother and father are together, and your dad, Harry, is wearing a shirt that looks like an outlet. He's wearing a plug.
I see.
On his shirt.
I wonder
and
what
he's
mine
got
is.
he wears a headband on. He's got a headband on that says AC with some from lightning bolts on the side. And then your mom is wearing an outlet shirt with DC on her shirt, on her headband. And for a moment you look at that and you just remember how supportive your parents
Yes.
are of your rockerness,
Even while they're so
And,
lame at the same time, though.
Corey, don't leave this up to me.
Yeah. I'm honestly, I just want to fly up to them. I'm not even smart enough to think to try to approach them. Just like, are you guys okay? Isn't this awesome?
Yes. Go ahead and roll for your persuasion.
Good. Let's see. Where's persuasion at here? Boom. How do you like a 13?
They are freaked. They
Yeah,
are
that
freaked
makes
out.
sense.
They move backwards into the crowd and parents around are freaked as well. You have a nice area that is cleared in front of you as everybody is freaked. And so unfortunately, you guys as a group were unable to connect with your parents.
Hold on, I didn't get a chance. I haven't tried yet.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's
Go
great.
ahead.
I have a question about the Bagman mechanics. Mm-hmm. Can you only move using blink as a mechanic? Are you bound to that?
The Bagman is constantly under the effect of blink.
but he can move normally.
Are you
or-
able to like approach them, or do you just have to appear?
I think so.
You have to appear. You mean?
Yeah, I don't have to like blink out and then blink back in. I
Oh, you
can
can
move
move.
without.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
you're allowed to walk, but that's a hilarious thought. That
I was hoping he couldn't. We were gonna have to like put him in a backpack and carry him around with us.
No, I just wanted to see his parents have to roll the fright check.
So Theo knows that if he opens his mouth, the game's over. Like there's no way that he can speak to his parent, to his dad, and like try to get through. So he very slowly walks over, kind of with his hands like this, like horrible, like sharp claws, like blood dripping off of them, just like hands up, just like this, and then sits down in front of his dad and writes. They're in like a, they're in a courtyard, or is there grass or anything like that?
the courtyard is more like a. There's
dirt?
grass
Is there
around.
dirt?
Yeah, there's dirt. There's plenty of. This courtyard is a mess. So there is dirt that's been flung everywhere. So yes, you're able to kind of write in whatever you want on the ground.
Yeah, so he takes like one horribly long, like knife-like claw and draws Theo in the dirt in front of his dad.
Good. How could this be misinterpreted?
But I need a persuasion roll.
Yep.
Okay.
A horrific monster comes up to me and writes my child's name in the dirt. What's my first thought?
Oh, good, my child's safe.
Fuck! That's a 5.
The 5 does not do it.
Not gonna do it.
Frightened the parent is, and is unable to. You're unable to convince him otherwise, and you stand in the courtyard. You look as the chaos is kind of happening, and you're just wondering to yourself, how long is this going to go on? You know, what exactly do we need to do to stop this effect? Is there a way to stop it?
So as he sees his parents, like, you know, his dad and his stepmom, like, get frightened from this, he like turns back to go toward his compatriots, and like, because of what he is, like, there's no time that passes between him turning and then like appearing right beside Wanda. Like, he just like evaporates and then appears beside Wanda, and he's like, we have to do something. There's got to be some way to end this.
Does she have to roll? Is she afraid?
She's like, oh.
Guys, do you remember the Totem of Destruction from the campaign we were playing? Because didn't it like make everyone in the town like sick?
That's D&D. You made that up, Thea or Barty.
Thank you for getting close to Thala there. I do appreciate it. Well, that's true, but I thought that Bagman only existed in the monster manual. And I mean, look at you, seriously.
I mean, I'd rather not, but
Yeah, dude,
you got a
same.
point. Well, all this happened because this woman cast a spell, right? She cursed us. So she has to be storing something. She's got a whole costume shop in town.
I'm pretty sure I remember her having something up on the stage or something like that. I don't know.
Well,
Like
let's
an
hope Reptar
amulet.
didn't destroy her store.
Well, I'm gonna transform into the like full tiger form and run over to the stage. And I'm just looking to see, like, is there an obvious cursed object that has like an off switch on it?
And so you run up to the stage, which is half destroyed by the carcass of this giant spider. But you do see where Marianne was standing, this pile of ash. And you'll remember, vividly remember this. You may never forget it, when she sliced her hand open, clutching an amulet, and began to age rapidly and withered away to dust. And the amulet had fallen, you know, as her body had dissipated or dissolved. Her hand was the last to dissolve, and that amulet had fallen. And you see in the ash that amulet sitting there, and you look at it, and it has a large skull on the front, and Bartholomew, you're able to actually look at it, and because you're the DM, you've read the books. You look at the skull. There is a symbol of transmutation on the skull, on the forehead of this skull on the amulet.
All right, so I'm gonna go back into my hybrid form and so I can actually like pick it up. Gonna grab it and walk it over.
Dude,
like,
you're just gonna
guys,
pick
this-
it up? What if it
It
makes
hasn't
super
burned
old?
my hand yet. The lady held it and she did fine. She was an old lady too.
She turned into dust, dude.
She did fine before that.
Like, Bart, it could be cursed. You don't just pick things up. That's like the first thing you taught us as DM.
Can I see it though, dude?
Yeah, sure. Here.
Awesome. Whoa.
Yeah, so that's a transmutation symbol on it. I actually kind of don't want it back. Theo made some good points. You can hold on to it.
All right, cool. I don't have pockets. I've been a giant demon. What do I do with this? Who has pockets?
Hang it on your pitchfork.
Dude, Bagman, do you have a bag?
I come out of bags. I don't have a bag.
You always have a bag based on what you just said. I mean,
I don't know how any of this works, man. I just... And he kind of, like, frustratingly gestures at his body, like...
all right, well, fine. I'll just, is there anything I can find to make a necklace out of this thing with or something? Tie some string
Wanda,
around it?
don't you have, like, a cape or something you could, like, tuck this up?
Didn't we get rope or something? I thought we got some rope, or somebody had some rope.
You know what? There's got to be just a random freaking book bag or trick-or-treating bag or something on the ground that I pick up. and
Maybe
put
Wanda
this-
just,
your
like,
bags of
tears,
You guys
like-
do have your bags of candy on
There we
you.
go. I got my bag
So,
of candy. I throw it in there, and I just am holding it like that.
Just, don't accidentally eat it, dude.
Yeah, it's fine.
You
I
do-
just tie it to one of my horns in the back, so it'll just hang back there.
And you look in your bag of candy and you see a lot of delicious pieces of candy that you guys had picked up, and it does look appealing to you. But you do throw the amulet in there.
Feels like now I kind of want a piece of candy, though. It feels like.
Does he? Does he
I
want a piece of
mean-
candy? I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I'll grab a piece of candy out of there. It looks so
Okay.
delicious. You described it so vividly. How could I resist?
So you unwrap the piece of candy, you pop it in,
Whoa,
and
what kind of candy did you gotta let me pick here, all right?
okay. Well, you have you have some fruit type candies. You got some Jolly Ranchers in there.
Right. Ugh,
You've got you've got some peanut butter cups. You've got
peanut butter
few
cup
Hershey's
is what I'm
Key
going for. It doesn't
Kisses.
matter.
All right, nice.
Going right for the gold.
So you take a peanut butter cup out and you pop it in, and you heal a hit point.
Oh. I feel good after eating that. Dudes. I start dumping the whole bag down my throat. Just all
Okay.
of my
How many
candy
pieces
down
of
my throat.
candy are you eating?
I'm gonna eat all of the candy that I have while doing this.
Okay.
So that would be 31 pieces of candy left that I just pour down my gullet.
So you guys watch as he eats all this candy, and as he's eating it, you do see like the seeds that had been embedded into this pumpkin seeds embedded into him and scratches. They do start to heal up, and so you see him actively healing as he's eating his candy.
Corey, do you have to do that every year? It's gotten a bit old.
Shut up, Thala. You hover all your candy before you get home anyway, because your parents won't let you have it.
Yeah, who are you
One
to
day a
talk?
year I get some. I don't shovel it into my mouth. I have it during the evening.
Okay, well that's one way to put it.
Yeah,
And
only
then,
because
like,
if you
what, like
shove it all in, you'll probably pee your pants or poop your pants or something again.
on the heels of that, Theo unceremoniously like kind of turns away from everybody and just has the bag and opens his mouth, and it's just like this horrible screeching metal sound as all the candy flies into it.
Nice. You eat all your candy?
All of it, all 30.
Okay.
Some of us, I don't know, were like getting hit a lot during that last encounter and maybe needed 30 plus delicious points in their body.
Hey guys, I have my Dungeon Master's Guide at home. If you guys want to go and see if we can look up that object.
Ooh.
Might have something on how to undo the curse.
That's
Good
as good as an
idea.
idea as I've heard tonight.
What's the fastest way to get there? Who all can fly?
Me?
Fly. I can fly way faster than I can walk right now.
I can, I think, just evaporate there. It's not like flying, but it's Kinda. I don't know how any of this works. And
feel like that should have been a yes or no.
Out of frustration, he like blinks all over the place for a moment and just like comes back to where he was. Like, I don't.
So he's good. Why don't I just like carry you, Barty, and we just get there faster that way?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay.
Wanda poofs into a bat and
Nice.
starts squeaking.
Okay, so you guys are all flying, or is somebody?
I think
I'm being
Bagman's just
carried.
gonna appear there, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
And then you're flying.
So the Bagman pops into the ethereal plane and heads to Thala's house, just like walking through houses and walls, and there's no like.
If nothing else,
Great.
I've got a bag with me with the thing in it, so he can always just show up, I guess.
Yeah,
in there.
he like pops into the ethereal plane and then waits for the bag portal to show up at Thala's house that he can pop out of.
There we go.
Okay, cool. And so you guys, as you fly and you're carrying Bartholomew, right? And the bat's kind of flying next to you. You guys are flying over the streets and kind of looking.
yeah.
You look down as you see the remaining like kind of zombies, these remaining decorations just kind of like staring at you as you like kind of like fly past them, like, and they're like headed towards the town square, and you land in Thala's house, and you go up to his room and open the door, and you guys are all together, and you see just all these like notes and things kind of scattered around. I don't remember. Did you actually clean your room before you left for Halloween?
Oh, no, there's no way I did. I was writing about the Great Sword and the Great Stone up until the second I walked out.
Okay.
So I pounce on my notes on the floor, like crumpling them, but trying to shove them under my bed because I don't want to spoil anything. Okay, guys, you can't look at those. Books are fair game.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, it's
And
no
so-
good, dude. You have no idea how good my dark vision was. I could see in your room, like, as soon as we got down the hallway so well.
I mean, the light was on because I left it on.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So Theo's actually kind
See
of
under that bed.
Theo's kind of impressed. Like he's kind of stunned for a moment, like looking around at all of the work that Thala has done. Like stunned into silence, as like in appreciation for the amount of thought that he has put into this.
Good.
We call you Barty the Smarty for a reason. You're clearly, you're putting in the work, if nothing else.
So yeah, you guys all are looking around and looking through books, and Bartholomew, you're looking through your notes. Go ahead and everybody roll an investigation.
Looking through books is like the lamest way we could solve this problem.
Ooh, nat 20.
14.
Surprisingly, a 17 from Corey.
I got
Okay.
a hot 5.
So the highest, which was Theo.
Yes.
You're looking through a book, an actual like module, and you find the inspiration for the totem of destruction that Bartholomew had read about, and you're reading through it, and you're reading through the module and kind of seeing, oh yes, this totem of destruction, this place that they had to take it, that you guys had to take it to be destroyed, was this statue of Baal, and this statue had been kind of unearthed in this ancient crypt beneath this wizard's house. Beneath this place of this wizard's like house, and a place that they had like their miniature little like castle kind of thing. And
Fortress.
so fortress type thing, and that's kind of the main information you glean. And Rachel, as you are as Wanda is kind of searching around, you feel a nip at your leg, and you take 1 point of piercing damage, and you look down and see a little Furby has kind of walked up to you and bit you in the leg.
Can Wanda like kick it? Like just
Sure.
kind of kick it away?
Go ahead, do just unarmed strike, kick this Furby.
Do I have to roll to hit?
I guess
Kind of eviscerated.
you got to roll your d20 plus, I guess, plus 9 for the unarmed strike.
Well, 19.
Oh, there you go.
19 to hit. Yes, that hits.
19
Yeah.
plus 9, right? Even
Yeah.
Right, 28.
Okay, hold on. Let's
Obliterate
see
this
here.
Furby.
I was gonna say you're gonna explode it.
I kind of feel wrong.
No, Furbies deserve to die.
4 plus 4 is 8 damage.
8 damage. That explodes the Furby, and you hear like, and it like hits the wall and explodes. And that's all. Yeah, everyone else, you guys just like stop and look up, like, what just happened?
No, you have no idea how much my little sister loved that thing.
Wanda like just poofs back into a bat and like
Dude,
it's hanging from the
since when
ceiling.
do you have
I
a little
guess.
sister?
So while Theo has the book in one hand, he like reaches one, horribly elongated arm out, the other arm out, and like extends a, 7 or 8 inch dagger-like claw for Wanda to hang off of if she needs to. But then reads what he finds in the book to the rest of the group.
Wanda just flies over and lands on him.
Good. Okay, yeah, so you read that aloud and share that information with everybody.
Guys, I think we have to consider the possibility that if Marianne was the wizard and her amulet was the totem, then she has a crypt or a fortress somewhere in town. And I have to think, right? It has to be her store. I mean, hopefully Reptar hasn't flattened it by the time we get there, but I think we need to get there as soon as we can.
Well, we don't really know that she was the wizard, right? Because wasn't that Dr. Halibut? Wasn't he dressed as a wizard for the haunted house?
True. And there's nothing in here about a daughter or anybody of the same blood or anything, so I don't know.
What are you talking about, dude? We watched her cut her hand and turn to ash, man. She's the wizard.
Bartholomew, you're kind of talking and you're kind of in the back of the room. The others are kind of with their back to the door into your room, and you can see some of your mom's decorations, which are the like autumn leaves, those like, plastic autumn leaf like vines that you put up in the house or whatnot. You see them starting to creep into the room, like ever so slowly twisting and turning. Just you notice that they're starting to enter the room.
Hey, Corey, grab me. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, what's going on? What?
The vines are moving in. Let's go. Do you hear the hurry in my voice? Let's go.
Do you want me to burn them?
You're gonna burn his house down, dude. Let's just we've got an idea of where to go. Let's just get out of here.
I think his parents are gonna understand. I think they're gonna probably condemn this whole town after this night, dude.
Corey, the window's open. I'm standing on the ledge. Let's go.
All right, let's go. I guess I'll just grab him and fly.
Wanda like flies out the window.
But as I do it, I am going to shoot one hurl fire at them behind me.
Okay. All right. You shoot a fireball,
Yeah.
and it hits inside the room as you're flying away, and it is you're a hell demon, and
Yeah.
you hurl a fireball in a house.
I hurled flame at the hallway at the things as they were coming.
Yes,
yeah.
and you can see a soft orange glow as you are flying away from the house, from the window.
That's probably nothing.
So as I just want to clarify, as everybody's leaping out the window to fly away, Theo hops into the bag and
Yeah.
vanishes to go along with. Is that just standing there watching a fireball,
makes sense.
approach his face?
Okay. And you guys are headed to the. It sounded like you had
Costume
wanted to
shop
head to the
seems like-
costume shop.
That's our only lead on this chick, right? Like, I don't know where her house is. Do we?
You do not. Yeah, you could roll for history, but you do not know. You'd have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you guys similarly, like before, fly. The decorations are watching you, and you're kind of headed in the direction back to the town square. And you can kind of see as you enter back into getting closer, you do see the the monsters, your other classmates and children in the town are holding their own against the monsters, and you can see some of them are having fun with it. You know, you see like a fireman with his axe just like hacking away at some spooky looking twig trees that are coming in, and you see the Ninja Turtle boys just joking around, high-fiving and stabbing and slashing at different skeletons.
The Ninja
that have
Turtles
come in.
are a lot more graphic than the cartoon show in real life.
And you enter back into this town square, and you land in front of Marianne's costume shop. And you see to the left of her costume shop, that bakery that was there is now completely gone, and the radiant energy trench is still ablaze a little bit. This trench is not fully ablaze. You can walk through it without getting burnt, but this row of buildings just suddenly comes to an end as it has that beam had totally taken out that section of it. But Marianne's costume store does appear untouched. And as you walk up to the storefront, you look to the window, and Wanda and Theo, you are the ones that had walked by it before. I want you to make a perception check as you're looking at the storefront.
I got a 12.
23.
23,
That girl,
great.
Wanda.
Wanda, you look into the window and you notice that one thing is different. There used to be a mannequin standing in the window, and that mannequin is gone.
Can she like poof back into the vampire form and share that bit of information?
Mm-hmm. And you're trying to remember, what was on that mannequin. And go ahead and roll a history check to see if you can remember.
15.
Of 15, you meet the DC check for this.
Atta
And
girl,
you
Wanda.
remember as you had walked by that there was a mannequin standing out front. One of her costumes that she had made was a figure with a hockey mask on, holding a large machete, and that figure is not present in the window any longer.
Knowing that, I'm gonna perk my ears forward and listen with my keen senses to try to hear if there's anything inside their movie.
Anything like a going on in there right now.
So you're outside of the storefront at this point. There's lots of noise around. You wouldn't be able to hear anything inside the store.
Okay.
What are we?
And,
what did the book say we have to do with the amulet thing again?
I open up the bag and ask it.
Hello.
Yeah, so Theo springs out of the bag. Again, always alarming to have him just like appear. It's like 10 feet tall. And
Great.
Like
Let me
horror-
set you down
horror
before you
disappearing.
talk. I don't want you by my face. Thank you.
So Theo, I think, rather presciently, knowing that Corey was prone to throwing fireballs at anything and everything, has brought the book with him.
Good call.
And so opens it back up and consults it, and says, "We have to find a statue of Baal. And don't make a joke about balls, dude. This is not the time. I know you're thinking it. We all know you're thinking it. It's funny, ha ha ha. But like, I'm
sorry,
fucking
Mr. Sack.
monstrosity.
I won't
wanna
talk
get out
about
of
your
this."
balls.
So he says, "There's got to be a statue somewhere, or a temple or something." And
Well, should we just go in?
it's got to be here. It's got to be here. It's got to be here or at Marianne's house. And I don't know where she lives. Do any of you know where she lives?
I definitely
This is as
don't.
good as
Can-
any. Why don't we just
go in.
investigate this?
Yeah.
Can Wanda just not like fly in as bat form just to like take a peek?
Can you even
Hard
walk
to
in?
open a door is bad.
Oh.
Are vampires allowed to go into stores without permission
me?
in this world?
That's a
point.
really good question.
You can try, see what happens.
So Theo steps forward and he's normally like 10 or 11 feet tall because he's a large aberration.
Yeah.
But he also has one of the Bagman's characteristics.
Attributes.
Yeah, is astral anatomy. So he can squeeze himself into any space as small as 1 inch wide. and can also walk on walls and ceilings. And so he takes a look at the door. If there's enough, if there's enough room, he just kind of like slides under it to enter the store without causing any sound, without like opening the door and hitting a bell on the other side or causing any sound. If there's enough space for him to get
Did
through.
you tell us that that's what you were doing?
No, he just like does it.
Cool. Corey kicks open the door as soon as he goes through that. Like, you didn't tell me that we're being quiet. We're going in, okay? Like,
Corey, can't he just like teleport? Why did he slide?
I don't. That was disgusting what he just did. I don't know.
Okay, so Corey, so you slide in and I'm gonna give you one slight moment. Just roll perception as you had come in on the other side of the on the other side.
So can I flavor the perception check?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So
season it.
I wanna flavor it as a smell check. And what I'm specifically trying to smell for is like anything decrepit, deathly, like undead, rotting, that kind of thing. And the reason I'm doing this is because I get advantage on smell checks. So if that is something I can do, that is something.
Kyle's going to get you because this is going to be the Jason from Friday the 13th, part 1 through 4, where he's still human. He's not rotting or decrepit.
All right, so I got a 15.
15 on the smell check. And so you go in and you smell the familiar sense of a store. The familiar sense of plastic, of cloth, of clothing. With a 15, I'll also just give you, since you've been using your sense of smell, it's been so good. You will kind of flash back to the giant battle that you've had, and you've faced some very large creatures that were very much sinew and bone and had come to full life. You had faced some smaller creatures like those skeletons that were very much still a plasticky type decoration that had come to life. And so as you are sniffing, you don't smell anything deathly or rotten or anything like that. You smell the store.
I'd like to
not even a hint of pumpkin spice. My heart.
I just want to flavor me breaking in differently than kicking the door because I don't want it to hit him. If there's like a window, I just want to like headbang into it with my horns. That's how I want to open it.
Okay. There's no door. There's a small window. There's like the door isn't glass. There's a little bit of like.
But there's a storefront window that they were looking through, right? I just want to break that. Go through there? Yeah. Yep. I'll just
go ahead. Just go
headbang into it with my horns. Like, let's do it.
Good. Crash, and you step through the broken glass and you hop into the store, and so Wanda and Bartholomew, you step up, and Wanda, you step up wondering, can I enter this store? And the door's still there. The door's still there.
Yeah.
And so you step up to the door, and you do see a sign on the door that says, "Yes, we're open. Come on in." And you feel like, is that enough?
That should count, right?
That counts.
You do try the door, and it is unlocked, and you are able to step inside.
Oh.
That's good. Like cautiously stepping inside.
I am still standing just outside the door, listening intently.
Okay. So you guys step in, and you are looking into the storefront. You see kind of like big costume like racks, kind of like aisles of costumes. And there's basically there are 3 aisles you can walk down. A left aisle, which is adjacent to the wall, a middle aisle, and then right aisle. This is kind of a skinnier store that is next to the wall as well. Lots of costumes, lots of props. The props are mostly on the walls on the right side. So kind of a middle aisle and a left aisle and a right aisle that is before you. The cashier, the main countertop is at the far end of this this store. It is dim. It is dark in here. The lights are out. You don't sense any sort of power on in this area, and that's what you get with your passive perceptions.
One question: there's 3 aisles. The dividers between these aisles, like, what are they? Are they like floor to ceiling shelves? Are they just like costume racks that are only 4 or 5 feet high? Like, what divides the aisles?
They're like they're kind of like cheap shelves, but like the cheap like metal-ish type of shelf. They're fairly tall, so they're about I would say they're about 7 to 8 feet tall in between, and so there's costumes, like, think costume rack, but like taller, I guess, like a little bit taller. So that there's kind of shelves above the costumes that have a bunch of things crammed into them as well.
So if Theo were to, I'm sure, freak everybody out and walk up the wall onto the ceiling upside down, would he be able to see all 3 aisles as he like walked down the middle one, or are the dividers high enough that he wouldn't be able to see?
There's not there's only a couple feet in between because the ceiling in here is fairly low. It's like it's a 12 foot. We'll say it's a 12 foot, so there's a decent amount of space up top. But you can't necessarily like go to the middle and see like the entire scope and see every detail. These costume racks are kind of big.
That's fair. So I've got to pick an aisle. That's okay. All right. Well, Theo being first in and considering himself the leader of this little group, decides to snake his way down the middle aisle.
Okay. What do you all do at this point?
Theo, where are you going? What are we looking for? We're looking for a statue.
I mean, it's not going to be out in the middle of the store, man. Like, we have to find something. It's got to be in a back room or a basement, or... I mean, there's only 1 floor to this place.
Is there? I want to take my pitchfork and I'm going to trying to dig a hole down with my pitchfork into the ground.
Sitting the wood floor and you're chipping at it a little bit away with your
That's all I'm
pitchfork.
doing then. Other people
So I'm
decide what they're
standing-
doing.
I'm in the doorway right now. Like, guys, I thought we had to go to the basement, right? It's in the crypt under.
What do you think
the
I'm trying to
fortress?
do?
Well, there's typically like a door to a basement, or like
Corey,
a trap
shut
door,
up.
maybe.
I'm trying to listen.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's bad.
You want to look for like a trap door, or maybe like a sign that says more decorations in the basement.
It's a good idea. Let's go.
Let's go look like
as opposed to stab the floor, Corey.
You guys wanted to go down. I didn't think it'd be that thick. Sorry, you're just sliding around and doing things without telling anyone anything. Why don't you slip through a crack in the floorboards, Mr. Have no bones, man?
I might, but I don't know if I can. And he turns back to look at the group that's still at the front of the store, like, come on, and continues down the middle aisle.
Okay, he goes the middle aisle. What do you guys? What does the rest?
One is
of
gonna
the-
go to the right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go to the left, I guess, but I'm going to say to Juan, your
Brother's bossy as hell.
And I thought we were all going as a group, so I'm just right behind Theo, not realizing that the other 2 went down different aisles.
that's fine.
Okay. So
My
you
man.
kind of traverse down the aisle, and you are looking through, looking at all the decorations as you pass by. Some are creepy, some are more like kids stuff. And as you're walking, Corey, all of a sudden you start to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
Breathing through a mask right behind you.
I mean, I'm going to turn around to look at what it is.
And you see a tall figure with a jacket on with a hockey mask and a machete, and it swings down at you, and everybody roll initiative.
Dude, I'm a huge fan.
16.
15.
20. Ooh, I'm feeling jazzed up. I just ate a bunch of candy and I got a sugar rush, baby.
And Wanda, what'd you get?
An 8.
An 8.
I mean, you are the farthest away from all of us.
Makes sense.
Okay. So this is a a surprise round that happens as you are surprised. He had rolled above all of your passive perceptions by a lot, and was very sneaky. And you watch as this machete comes down to hit you for a 22 to hit.
Yep.
And you take 23 points of slashing damage.
Oh, my candy!
He slashes you, and you feel like it hits a wing, and you're gonna have 10 less movement speed for your next turn. He slashes down with that machete, and then he thrusts it forward at you as well for a 10 to hit.
That does not hit.
And misses. And that is his turn. And the way the initiative works, we are actually all the way back up at the top of the initiative order, which is Corey. You're up.
Hey, look at that. You said that was 23 damage he did, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Ow, dude! Well, he's gonna get as part of his turn. Or wait, can I do a reaction on a surprise turn? I don't even know how that
You
works.
can't do any reactions.
Right. Okay, so he's not
Yeah, I
gonna
don't
get
think-
hellish rebuked, but I am. Corey's a little afraid because this is Jason Voorhees right in front of him, so he's gonna. He's like throwing up his hands, a little scared after that happens, and he accidentally casts Fire Shield on himself while he's doing it. So thin and wispy flames wreathe around your body for the duration, shedding bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10 feet. And now it gives me, it'll warm me and it'll grant resistance to cold damage or whatever. But it also, whenever there's a creature within 5 feet of me that hits me with a melee attack, the shield will erupt with flame, and the attacker will take 2d8 fire damage from now on.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but that is unfortunately, I think all I can do because that's an action, and I'm not
Okay.
moving away from him.
Gotcha. Bagman, you have heard the shriek from the left, and you can, from the ceiling, look and see that there is this figure behind the Horned Devil, behind Corey. What do you do?
So, Theo, as the Bagman, disappears and then crawls out of Corey's bag so that he's right next to him.
Ew. It's worse than him. Ew.
I'm assuming that Jason Voorhees is immune to fear. So I'm going to...
Because that's a frightful presence type thing.
Yeah, so
You appear and you look at him and think, is he going to be scared? And he just shakes his head.
Yeah.
He looks and shakes his head at you.
So Theo's actually kind of like, he tried to sneak into this store. Corey bashed the door open. He was trying to find a way to find a way into this store that would allow them to avoid, getting hurt and find a way to end all of this quickly. And now they're in combat again. So he is angry. And so he is just going to tear this mask off. So he's going to hit a multi-attack once with his claws and once with his bite.
Okay.
That's a plus. So with the claws, plus 9 to hit. 23 to hit?
23 hits. Go ahead and
Okay.
roll your damage on the claws
Okay.
first.
16.
16 points of damage. As he takes 16 points of damage, you slash into him, and you feel like you actually do a fair amount of damage to him. He starts, poof, he's gone.
What
Well,
just happened?
The second part of his melee of his multi-attack, not knowing if he's just turned invisible or if he's teleported or something, Theo makes his second attack, just tries to bite where this thing just was. And I'm assuming, I'll roll
miss.
for it, but
You can roll for it. It will be a miss, because as
Okay.
you do a attack into this open space, you realize
Okay.
it is not there. Jason is not there.
well, and so he looks around
Dude, did you win?
and turns back to Corey and says, "Tell everyone it's still out there."
Oh yeah, I'll just telepathically, I guess, out to them. Good call. I can talk in our brains. Hey, Jason is maybe still alive? I don't know. Bag dude
Jason
hit it
from
and
math
maybe
class?
got rid of him. No, not
And you're all
Jason from
able-
math class. Jason from Camp Crystal Lake, dude.
Yeah, I didn't go to Camp Crystal Lake last year.
Dude, it's a movie. You're so lame, Barty.
Oh. Okay, you could use the full name.
Sorry, Jason Voorhees is here.
Okay, well that's terrifying. Where is he?
I don't know.
It is your turn, Bartholomew, and it is quiet, generally quiet in this costume store. But you are now made aware that Jason is here somewhere.
I'm going to hop up on top of the shelf, the opposite way of where Corey was.
Okay,
I was in the middle. I'm jumping to the other side. Do I see anything?
go ahead and roll
From being up
for
there.
perception.
Would this be using hearing at all?
No. Let's.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. You can. I mean, you can. Yeah. Go ahead. You're using all your senses to try and hear him and things.
Okay. 19.
Okay. You clamber up onto the top of this and look around and you're hearing for anything, and you do not see anything or hear anything.
Kyle, I don't know that this matters. I forgot to mention this. So one of the feat that I took is Slasher, which I thought was particularly, good for this story. But Slasher, I reduce his creature's speed when dealing slashing damage, and claws are slashing damage. So if this
Okay,
thing,
that's good to know. Yeah.
if this thing is not
He
a
has the
projection,
same ability
if it's
too.
still out
That's
there
what-
somewhere.
So,
okay,
good.
so if it's still out there somewhere, maybe it can
That
only
might
move
explain
half
why
as
I
much
lost 10 feet
as
of
it
movement
might
speed on my turn.
as it might otherwise be able to. I forgot to mention that, but I wrote a note to myself to remind me to say that.
Okay.
No,
And
I would want to ready my action. So I'll grab my bow out and just draw it. And if I see anything, I'm mostly now looking kind of down the middle aisle towards the back of the store. And if I see anything come out, then I would just release it.
okay. Wanda, you're up.
So let's see. If she was far in the back, would he technically know she's there? I guess.
He's Jason Voorhees. What doesn't he know when there's
True.
youths around? Wanda, I know what to do. Find a sweater and pretend to be his mom. I saw it in the movie. It works.
Where's the sweater?
Are there any blue
Juan is
sweaters?
like in the background, slowly putting a sweater over her. So we don't see any sort of like obvious basement entrance, right? 'Cause I
You
was
guys
gonna
are kind of
say she
amongst the
could-
shelves at this point. There's the front of the room that has the cashier's desk. You haven't been up there yet, and so you haven't seen any doors or specific things yet.
Could she, I guess, transform into a bat and then try to fly around and see if she could spot anything that might help?
Sure. Yeah.
Or, I mean, if
Go
they
ahead.
haven't
Which
been
direction
to
would you like to fly as the bat? And so you're in the aisle all the way to the right.
all the way to the right.
Are you wanting to go down this aisle, go over into a different aisle? Which direction would you like to go?
And you said we haven't made it to like the cashier's, like the register, nothing, right?
Correct. Yep. Yep. So you're close.
So
you could
I-
fly to it. You could
I
fly in
just
that
have
direction.
a feeling about that area. Could mean nothing, but she's gonna move towards that area, like towards the main like desk, the register. Maybe there's something around there that could help.
Okay. So you move forward, and you move forward through. You're kind of flying through as the bat, and you're passing costumes left and right, and you see to your left. You kind of jump for a second because you see a row of Jason costumes, a row of hockey masks, about 4 of them in a row, and you're kind of flapping. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh Lord, 7.
A 7. And so you're like, okay, not quite sure what you see, and you start to go, and then all of a sudden one of the hockey masks leaps at you, and you see this hand try and grab grab you as the bat, and he is going to make this attack as a 25 to hit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's gonna hit.
And he has you grappled at this point, and what he does is he looks at you, and you have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, 14.
You fail, and you are paralyzed in fear as he is holding you, and you are clutched in his hand. And Corey, it is your turn.
Okay. Can I see them?
You're 2 aisles away, but you do hear some ruckus.
I hear some ruckus. Okay, well, if I hear some
Frantically
ruckus,
making bat noises.
can I fly up in the air and then see them?
Yep.
Okay,
you could
perfect.
fly up in the air and
Or
kind
whatever,
of
I'll
fly
just
over
move toward them.
the costumes. Yep.
I've got 50 feet of fly speed, even with 10 taken off of me. So, I think I'm going to be okay getting there. Or at least getting to where I can see them. Yeah, he's got a hold of her, so I will just go flying at him then and start trying to make a multi-attack on
Okay.
my dude over here.
Go ahead.
Yeah. On my boy Jason. Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill her, don't kill me, don't kill her. First one to hit, 21 to hit.
21 to hit. Hits.
All right, excellent. I'm just going to roll all of them to hit like I did before. Second one to hit is even higher, 27 to hit. So I'm going to guess yes.
Yep, that hits.
And then for the tail, let's see how the tail does. The tail gets a nat 1, so I don't think the tail
So
is
misses
going to
the
hit.
tail.
All right. So 2 pitchfork hits. So that is 29, 17 plus 12 total, yeah. So 29 damage.
Good. You stab at this Jason. Oh, he takes a few hits. He's still standing, but boy, you feel like you did a lot of damage to him. He is not looking great, grasping onto Wanda, and it is the Bagman's turn.
We'll tell Tavern
So-
say, dude, he's got your sister.
So hearing that, sister connects for maybe the first time, where Theo was like, yeah, that is. And he, while blinking over to Corey, just screams out, burn this place to the ground!
Permission.
And pops out of the bag, ready to just take this thing's head off. And so he evaporates, pops out of Corey's bag next to Jason, and makes his attack. Okay, so on my multi-attack, my claws, I got a 2. But on the gaping maw, I got a nat 20
Yes.
Yes.
for a 29 to hit.
Yep.
And
Roll that damage on that gaping maw.
yeah, that's 30 damage.
Okay. How do you do it? How do you
so-
defeat Jason?
So the Bagman bursts out of this bag, and he isn't even sure that anybody heard him screaming this out, because he was kind of going into the nether as he did. But as he comes out, his mouth opens up and just envelops half of this being and just evaporates it, cuts it off at the midsection before shrinking back to its kind of abnormal size, but just eats half of this thing.
Good. And Jason, the rest of his body crumples and falls to the ground. His hand releases, and Wanda is flapping around free as a bat. And we are out of initiative order.
Wanda, are you okay?
Beep, 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 beep.
Wanda, we can't tell you're saying you're still a bat.
Corey throws a fireball at the wall on the other side of the room. I'm just hurling. I'm hurling fire at the wall on the other side of the room. My last direction was to burn this place to the ground.
Great. So you throw fireball at the wall and it catches fire. I mean, explosion happens. Lots of these
hurling flame.
There are things all over this counter, like little eyeball treats and snacks and things, and they just burn and fly everywhere as this explosion hits, and the wall is singed and catching fire.
All right, Corey, I was a little heated, but actually, hold on. Thala, you said this has to be a crypt, right?
I mean, that's what the book said. Yeah, why?
So it's got to be underneath us.
Yeah.
It's got to be hidden somewhere.
So as you guys approach, you do approach the front desk, the front cashier area that is kind of, a lot of the wall is kind of caught fire on the right side. There is a door near where the flames are catching and kind of going around. And you do see that door is ajar.
It's adjacent?
And open.
Oh, sorry.
It's adjacent. It is ajar. And you can see that there is kind of a room back there that you've been in the store before, but all of your costume decorations that had come from this store this year, none of you had really gotten them from the store. Your parents had gotten it from here. And so it's been at least a year since you've been in. And so you see that door is ajar. You also see a glass case that is behind the counter. A glass case where the glass is shattered. And there is nothing inside the glass case. And you can see there's a kind of a pile of glass and maybe a small piece of paper that is kind of in the glass underneath.
So
I
Theo
probably
would like
shouldn't touch the paper.
yeah, Theo would like to kind of stalk over to this glass case and search around inside it to pick up the piece of paper and see what it reads, but also to see if there are any if there's an imprint in the dust or any thing that would indicate something was there.
Go ahead and
that is
roll
no longer
investigation.
there. Yeah. 11.
So you see the glass shattered on the ground. You could see that on the glass there was probably some etched in lettering on the glass, but the glass is very shattered and broken. It would take you hours and days probably to try and put together, see what the etching on the glass said. You pick up the small piece of paper, and it's a small tag. And
What's it say?
The tag on it says authentic TV costume.
Authentic TV costume.
And you don't see any footprints or anything necessarily on the ground there at all.
So he shows the paper to the rest of the party members. Is this?
Why would anyone want to dress up as a TV?
I think it was the Jason costume, Corey. I mean, I
Wouldn't that say authentic movie costume?
But wasn't
that's a good
Jason in the
Fair.
in the window?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's fair.
She told us earlier he was in the window. This is clearly a TV. Someone's dressed as a TV. It'll rot your mind, is what my mom always says. So that's probably what its power is.
Well, we haven't gone through that door yet,
should
have
we go through the door?
I start patting the fire to try to put it out around the
Okay,
door
good.
so they can
Yes, so they're able to go through.
Yeah.
I was going to ask how you guys were able to go to the fiery door, but that does work. And so you were able to pat down the door. And you do see inside you see a small office, kind of an office setup. And there is a bookshelf that has been moved, and there's a dugout section of the floor revealing a hole. You walk over, you look into the hole, and you see a ladder leaning kind of against the wall of the hole, and it goes down into darkness for a bit, but you do see some light at the end, only about 10 or so feet down.
I'm gonna pounce on down there, land on my feet.
All right, so you jump on down, and you land and splash. There is a little bit of water at the end, at the bottom, and you feel like you're about in 2 inches of water.
I jump back up on the ladder so I'm out of the water.
Yeah.
Guys, it's not safe. And I'm climbing out.
What?
Someone else
What is it,
leaves.
dude? It's just
Just water.
water.
So,
there.
Kyle, you said we were in an office?
The room was like an office, yes. Yeah, it was like the office for the, you could see a desk there, some paperwork that's kind of there, a filing cabinet. Not a whole lot in there. There's a kind of a small little like old lady cat like figurine, you know, like decorations you'd see in an old woman's house, kind of like around.
So, kind of Edward Scissorhands like, Theo is going to kind of go over to the desk and the filing cabinet and just kind of like try to get any of it open or like pick up any of the paper to look at and see if anything is like useful or readable.
You're able to open up the file cabinets. You see old tax paperwork. You see a whole lot of uninteresting things, and you don't see any handwritten, last letters that she had written. Nothing in particular.
Any pictures of like a pretty young daughter she hasn't seen in a long time?
Yep. On the desk, she has a picture of her and her daughter. This is a very younger picture. You have seen similarly aged photos of your father when he was in high school, and you see kind of her with her daughter Cynthia, kind of standing next to each other. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of warmth in between the two of them. But Cynthia is generally dark-haired, kind of homely-looking girl.
So, at this jogs Theo's memory, and he turns back to the group and he goes, "Guys, I just remembered something. Before I left the house to join you all for Halloween, parents were talking about Marianne. And they said her daughter was coming tonight. But Marianne said at the thing that she hasn't been here in years, decades even. But they said she was coming. And I think this is her." And he kind of like points at the picture, and like, because his finger is like 8 inches longer than it normally is, and it's basically a knife, just like taps it with a dagger and breaks the glass. And like,
I can't see it now. It's all cracked around her face.
What do you mean she's coming tonight?
I don't know. They said that they heard that she was coming, that she was returning to town.
Well, then why would her mom have killed herself before she got into town?
I don't know.
What if
Maybe
it
she
wasn't
is.
her mom?
What if she's down in this hole?
Well, Barty, what did you see down there?
What did I see?
Yeah, what'd you see down there?
I didn't really get a good look. There's
Why'd
like
you
2
come
inches of
running
water
back?
down there.
Okay, why'd you come running though?
The water. Do you ever stand in water? It's not fun. I can do it. I'm gonna have to psych myself up a little bit.
Oh, okay. I'll go down the ladder, please.
Yeah,
I
here-
would
here
fly
he is in
down,
the water,
but I'm
like-
assuming that my wings are too big to actually flap down this hole or whatever.
Yeah,
so
you can't really like fly down. You'll
just
have to go down the
awkwardly
ladder.
shuffling down with my
Yeah.
giant hoof feet or whatever, trying to get.
Wanda can't go down there in vampire form. She'll take damage with water, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Oh.
Wanda, why aren't you coming?
Water.
You too?
bad.
So the ability says if you are in like running water, the ability
you have to
the
end
stat
your
block says
turn.
if you end in running water, then you will take 20 points of acid damage.
Turn into
so
a
yes,
bat
you would know
and
that you
just-
cannot get into the water.
Turn into a bat and just hang out on my pitchfork or my horn or something. Everyone just
What if-
climb on me and I'll carry us through.
She just turns into a bat and just like lands on Corey's like
Perfect.
shoulder.
Okay, cool.
I
Corey,
got a
as you
bag
climb
on my. I got the
down-
bag with me. I got
The bag and the bat.
So Theo doesn't need the bag here.
It's
He
true,
can
you
just
don't.
he can very much David Bowie
think
just
those
like
giant-
walk down the whole
that's right.
side and then onto the ceiling underneath. So he's upside down on the interior of whatever cavern
This,
this is.
yep, you get down there and it's a tunnel. And Corey, as you step in, you that like this like sound happens as you're like your hot, your horned demon fire feet kind of cool off in the water, and you don't take any damage from that. But
it feels kind of nice. I gotta be honest. I was feeling a little warm.
And you realize the water is kind of it is like a running water. You're in this kind of like flowing underground, like kind of like creek kind of thing that's kind of flowing downward. And so you look to the left, you see that you can kind of see that the water kind of comes from an area that's not really passable, and downward you do see that there are more lights. You see a like lit torch on the side of this like tunnel, and that was what was creating the light. And you can see further down that there is a light further down. And so you continue down this tunnel, carrying all these people on you with the bag.
So I'm Bagman, who's.
I think I'm too big to be on your shoulder.
Oh yeah.
So I'm perched up at the top, and you just hear me. Hey guys, you got it? Need me down there, or like you good?
Just turn back into your little self and come down here if you don't like water as a cat.
I still don't like it. I'll do it. So I walk down, and you can tell I'm just disgusted with every step I take.
Good. So you walk for about 10 minutes. The air is growing cooler and cooler with every step as you descend further into the earth. And suddenly, the walls of the tunnel, not suddenly, but gradually kind of turn more into this old style stone walls. It's still pretty much rubble. But you continue to walk through this kind of flowing water over these like kind of rocks. You don't really have to make any dexterity checks or anything because it is relatively, you're able to kind of traverse through the water, but you do come to an entrance and you enter into what opens into a large cavern. The running water you've been following kind of drains left into a large crystal clear lake off to the left-hand side of this massive cavern. You see there is plenty of dry cave floor on the right side of this cavern. You see some structure in here, some columns, some very ancient looking columns. You look up and see stalactites gripping to the ceiling about 30 feet up. Lots of stalactites, and the right wall of this cavern is massive wall of flowstone, a cave formation of sediment that looks like a massive stone waterfall that is almost completely the right side edge of this cavern. At the end of the cavern, about 60 feet in front of you, is a black stone statue of a demon. Leaning against the demon statue is a young high school girl with dirty blonde hair, a black tank top, and red leather pants. With one hand she holds a wooden stake and the other a silver blade sharpening the stake. Well, this is kinda nice. Usually I'm the one who has to go track down the monsters and follow them into their lair, but this time you all found me. And you brought a vampire with you, my specialty. And you realize that before you stands none other than Buffy Summers, the Vampire Slayer.
This is huge. This is a huge moment for me.
Can we have a moment for Scott to just geek out a little bit?
I'm like kind of nervous. I'm nervous now. I don't think I can handle it. I don't know if Corey is a fan though, so I guess.
Excuse me. Who are you?
Is that Marion's daughter? I like say into Mav's head. Does that look like her?
I mean, does it? I'm assuming that, having had a decent look at the photo, I can tell.
Well, from what I can tell, I was a costume. I kind of woke up in a glass case and got my way out of there and took a look at this town, and sure looks like there's a lot of monsters here. A lot of work for me to do. Went down here to try and figure some things out, and hey, you guys showed up, so I guess you're first up here.
Well, now, before you do anything, we're not monsters, we are children. We were trick-or-treating, okay? Lady named Marianne turned all the children into monsters, so you shouldn't kill the monsters here.
He's telling the truth. We're not monsters.
Go ahead
And tell them, guys.
roll persuasion with advantage.
An 8.
An 8.
God damn it.
That's
that'll
with
do it,
advantage?
guys.
You rolled twice?
Yeah, the other was a 4. I can use that
Oh,
if you
dear.
want.
That's interesting. I've never had anybody make that argument before. Clearly, I see a devil and a were-cat. Is that what you are? And
A weretiger.
And
I mean,
I've
I'm
never
a
really
child,
seen
but
a bag creature like this before, and of course a vampire. So, yeah, I think I know what's going on here. And she starts to wield her stake. Anything else you'd like? Anything else? What were you trying to do down here, anyways?
Well, given the opportunity, Theo kind of leans over to Corey, and he goes, "Throw the bag at her."
Okay, because it has the amulet in it. Yeah, good idea. I throw
Oh God! Jesus.
Okay.
I throw the bag at her.
Okay. Just rolled a hit, I guess.
I'm just trying
Are
to
you
throw
just
it in
trying to
her
throw it?
direction. Yeah, like not
Okay.
at her to hurt her or whatever. Like,
Okay. So
if you look in
throw
the bag,
yeah, I throw
Gotcha.
the bag.
Look, there's a thing in there, an amulet in there. Look in there. That's the thing that did this.
And so you throw the bag, it hits the floor, and the amulet kind of rolls out a little bit and rolls and lays flat on the ground. And she says, "Oh, interesting. So you're gonna end the spell? Is that what you said?"
Yeah, the one that turned us all into.
hey, Corey, hold on. I think, and I'm going to whisper, I think it might have made her.
So if you end the spell, then I kind of go.
Who could say?
No.
Who would know?
No, I'd actually be more afraid of that behind you.
Oh, that? This. Are you trying to like fool trick her to turn around? Yes. Okay. Roll a deception.
I'm just hoping she'll turn around for a second.
Roll a deception.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm like, yes, my man.
She's gonna roll a wisdom.
Okay, that was a 10.
She rolled a 15. She shakes her head.
That's fair.
And she says, "You know what? This makes sense, but if you end the spell, then I'm gonna have to die, and I really don't want to die."
Is there
Go ahead.
is there water around? Like, can Wanda poof back into vampire form, or?
Yes, so you can. You are. That creek had kind of gone into this large body of water to the left of this cavern as you're facing Buffy, and there's plenty of dry cavern where you guys are standing, so you're able to be in vampire form.
Dude, Wanda, what are you? Her name's
she kinda,
Vampire
like-
Slayer. What are you?
Poofs back into vampire form, and she's just like, "You were never real anyway." To Buffy,
She says, "What? Oh, you're
that
never
she was
real." Anymore.
never real. So why does it matter?
It matters because I'm real now.
Kyle, is there how much distance between Buffy and the bag?
65 feet.
Between Buffy.
60
Well, no, I'm
feet.
saying
60.
how between the bag and Buffy?
Oh, the bag and Buffy? 10 feet.
Theo kind of looks around and steps back slightly behind the kind of flaming, light that is Corey, and then disappears.
Okay. She goes, "Well, all right. Let's get to it then." And she flips the stake in her hand and starts to dash forward towards you guys. And I need to get my player character sheet out, as you 4 monsters are going up against a level 20 player character.
Let's
Buffy the
fucking do it,
Vampire
baby!
Slayer.
Oh no.
And everybody roll initiative!
Let's get him!
Oof, 8.
Don't forget, you can use your vampire's dexterity instead.
Yeah,
of
use your vampire's dexterity.
I'm at 16.
So 12.
I got an 11.
I also got a 12, so now we both have to
Roll
roll
off,
a
roll
D20,
off.
Roll off.
Rachel.
18.
All right, you go before me then.
Okay. You're not even gonna try.
I got a 10. I already rolled.
Okay.
Okay, so you, yeah.
We had some tight rolls there. 10, 11.
I know.
12,
I was gonna
12.
just
Yeah.
like lie and say I got an 11, so we wouldn't have to do the tie break. But then you got an 11. So I
But
was
he
like,
got an 11.
well, shit.
Buffy is first. She did roll the highest, and so she dashes forward, and she is headed straight. She's not actually dashing on her turn. That's just my verbiage. She is using her movement speed, and rushes towards the vampire, towards Wanda, and she. As she is rushing towards you, she kind of points her finger at you and casts her hunter's mark on you. And she is going to attack with her
Wait,
stake.
Is Hunter's Mark a spell?
It's a bonus action.
Is it a spell or is it just like a...
It is a spell, yes.
I would like to counterspell that,
Oh, okay.
please.
So she tried to cast it, and
Yeah.
you counterspelled it, so...
Because I'm doing like this. I'm going like, wait. Like, as it's happening, I accidentally counterspell.
Okay, great. So she rushes forward, and first attack as a 12 to hit.
No.
And so she gets to re-roll that from an ability. And that's a 21 to hit.
Yes. It does.
And she does 10 points of piercing damage with the stake, and hits you with the stake. And then she does another stake attack for a 14 to hit,
No, it doesn't.
and misses. She is going to hit. She's actually going to spend 2 key points to get that up to 16. Does that hit at a 16?
Oof. It sure does.
Okay. She does hit with that stake, and that does 14 points of piercing damage. And then, so she also does a third stake attack,
Dang.
and
Fucking around.
She out here murdering.
and hits a nat 20 on this one.
Oh,
dear.
jeez.
And that is 19 points of piercing damage.
Ouchie.
Oof.
And with that attack, she also adds another d10 of Kensei damage. With a Kensei strike, she adds 1 point of damage. That was a d10. She rolled a 1 point extra damage on that, piercing damage. And then she also, with her Dread Ambusher, gets a d8 to add as well.
Lord.
3 points of piercing damage.
Dang.
And that is her turn.
Gosh.
Wanda's just like, I'm not feeling so immortal.
Don't forget, Wanda, that you regain 20 hit points at the start of your turn as a vampire.
Yeah.
And so Buffy finishes her turn, stabbing away at you with that sharpened stake, and it is Bartholomew's turn, the Weretiger.
All right. How we were all like standing in a group, right?
Yep,
That happened.
yep, right next to you.
Well, so the Bagman has disappeared. But remember, he can emerge from any bag. So I am not right next to you,
Yeah, he's not in the group with us at this moment.
but I could be.
But you could be.
I could be if you decide to make me.
Does Buffy have a bag?
She has no visible bags.
I've already discussed that pockets are bags, so if she's with her pants.
No, she's got women's red leather pants on. It's clearly established lore that there are no pockets
No
on them.
pockets.
I know the exact red leather pants that Buffy would be wearing, whether or not they have pockets or.
But I'm not like within 5 feet of Buffy right now, correct?
You are. Yeah, you're right next. You're basically. You guys were standing right close to her. So yeah.
Okay. I
She
am going.
She used all of her movement speed to get there, so she couldn't go anywhere else. But yep.
Okay. So counterintuitively, I am going to just vanish and appear about 25 feet behind Buffy and just run at her and pounce.
Okay.
Get a nice, good running start for this one.
Barty.
And would I have advantage if I'm behind her?
Yeah.
Let's say, is she flanked?
She's flanked.
I mean, the second one was a nat 1, so I'll go with the first one. 23.
23 hits.
Oh, thank goodness. So that is 10 of slashing damage. And then she has to make a strength save, which I feel like she's going to probably be pretty good at, but DC 14.
Roll a 5.
All right, so she is currently prone then,
Boom, she gets knocked down.
which gets a bonus bite attack. But you said that has advantage if she's prone,
Yep.
right? Or just melee would?
Yep.
Okay. 18.
18. That hits.
That is a 13, and that was the bonus bite. So right after she gets prone, I just lean down, take a big bite.
13
then-
points.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm going to make 2 more of my claw attacks, so I'll just go ahead and roll them together. That a 13 doesn't really do much.
13 does not hit.
How about an 18?
18 hits.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. Hope you guys are taking notes.
She's used key points and a hunter's mark, so got something going on here.
So that is. Hold on, I have to do math. That's 18 of slashing damage. And then there's actually one more. And I'm just. This time I'm not doing the like angry baps. I'm like kind of afraid, so I'm just like clawing my way through. And that one missed.
Okay.
But she is currently prone.
She's prone. You guys have advantage on attacks on her. Okay. And that is your turn. We have oh my gosh, I can't find the initiative. Corey, you're up.
It's Rachel's turn because she won the roll off against me.
I thought she lost it. Sorry,
No, she
I
got
put
an
that the
18.
wrong. Okay, I had that flipped.
So if she's prone, can I technically bite, or do I still have to grapple?
She's
I think
prone.
you can
She's
bite her while
not.
she's prone, right?
She's not incapacitated or.
Yeah, prone isn't grappled, so you'd have to
yeah.
grapple
Wait.
her.
Hold on.
But if you
It's,
grappled her, you could then, at the end of your turn, use a legendary action to bite her.
to bite. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Would you have advantage
So if you
on the
wanna-
grapple?
or restrain?
Yes. Yeah. You'd have advantage on a grapple right now.
Well, if I do a multi-attack, could I grapple and bite with that?
I think if you
Yep,
hit
so
with the unarmed strike, you just initiate a grapple. No
You
matter
can
what.
instead of
Okay.
instead of
Well,
doing the
let
damage
me-
with that unarmed strike, then you can grapple.
I'm gonna roll to grapple or roll to hit.
Roll the hit with your unarmed strike for your multi attack. I would think, and you have advantage.
17.
Is that with the +9 and with the advantage?
Oh, that is
also?
not with the +9.
Okay.
So that would be what, 26?
Yeah.
Yep. So that hits. So you are you can either do the damage or you can grapple. And it sounds
Let's
like you
grapple.
Okay. She's grappled. And now you can
alright.
bite.
So let's see if my math is right. That's 15 damage for biting?
You have to first roll to hit on
Oh.
the bite.
I bet I always forget the roll to hit.
Yep. And you have
I need to
advantage
like
on it too.
put a sticky note on my monitor. Oh, so let's see. That's 21.
That hits.
Awesome. 9 damage
9.
of biting.
Yeah. So you do 9 piercing damage, and then you do 3d6 necrotic damage as well.
3d6. The necrotic damage is 9? Is that right?
Yep.
She's just like, payback.
And that lowers her max health as well.
By 9.
And you heal for the necrotic damage.
Oh
I
yeah,
believe,
that's
too.
right. I would
in addition to the 20 you get anyway.
Yeah, don't forget you got that 20 at the start of
You
your
get
turn.
29 health back.
Nice,
for this
nice.
turn. Yeah.
Crazy.
We're getting back up there, baby.
That's wild. That's
Vampire's a little crazy.
Pretty wild. Corey, you're up.
Hey, cool. I'm assuming that my fire shield has expired, right? It's
Yes.
probably been more than 10 minutes. Well, I can't do most of my spell things because everyone's on top of her right now. So hell yeah, I'm just gonna. I yell mosh pit, and I jump in and start trying to hit too. So I'll make my attack rolls on old Buffy. These are with advantage as well, aren't they? Heck yeah. So let me see, just make sure. Thank God I rolled with advantage because I crit on the first one because of that advantage.
Good.
Right. So first one does 18 damage. Second one to hit is a 29 to hit. I'm assuming is going to hit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that does 12 damage. And then last attack is a 19 to hit with my tail.
And that hits.
Excellent. So then she's going to take 9 damage right there and then have to do that DC 17 Constitution saving throw.
A 14.
So yeah, now she'll take 3d6 damage at the start of each of her turns to the Infernal Wound. And then, yeah. All right, cool.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah.
Okay. And then we have the Bagman.
do Rachel or Brian, do Thala or Wanda have their bags with them?
I think that for the people who ate all their candy, I don't think you'd be carrying your bag.
Well, that's
with you
only
anymore.
me and
I never ate
Wanda
my candy.
definitely
it's only
has
me
her
and
bag.
Theo that ate candy. So
Okay. So if Wanda still has her bag and is currently grappling Buffy, pulling a bait and switch instead of going to the other end of the cavern, he comes back and emerges from Wanda's bag
Okay. Yeah.
on top of Buffy.
Okay.
And while she is grappled, grasps her head like upside down. So like Buffy sees this like horrific, awful visage upside down as he like grasps her head, and his mouth opens, and he casts fear.
Okay.
And his if he succeeds, well, let's see if he succeeds first. She has to pass because of his natural weird predator, his skill, it's actually a charisma saving throw as opposed to a wisdom saving throw for fear.
Okay.
Because of his like his presence. So she has to make a DC 14 saving throw.
She rolled a nat 1.
Okay, there we
so
go.
bad with the rolls.
come on.
So
Buffy.
Buffy, all of a sudden, everything turns black, and she finds herself in a box, coffin-like, and she hears the steady thump of dirt falling down on the top of the wood over and over and over again as it slowly dulls as the dirt builds on this coffin. And she can't sense anything outside of it other than that she is being buried alive.
Oh, that is awful.
So she is now frightened. She cannot do anything. Even if she breaks out of being restrained, she can't do anything but run away from this visage until she makes a charisma saving throw over 14 on her turn.
Okay. She is going to spend a key point with a diamond soul. Her soul is so pure and beautiful that she's able to spend a key point and try and do another charisma saving throw on that. And she rolls a 13 and still fails. Buffy.
More like cubic zirconium soul, am I right?
I'm assuming that's your whole turn, right?
That is my whole turn, yes.
Okay, good. It will be Buffy's turn. Would you like to use a legendary action?
I was gonna say, Rachel, if there was ever a time.
Yeah, I want to bite her.
Okay.
So let's see. Roll to hit. 19.
19 does hit, yes. So go ahead and roll that damage.
I was gonna say, with advantage, roll twice, because you might.
Yeah, you could.
You might nat 20. It could always happen.
Why not? 19 again, actually. That's kind of funny.
Okay.
9 damage plus 8 necrotic damage. That's right.
Okay. You sink your teeth into Buffy and she takes damage and you take health.
Nice.
And it is her turn. She is going to take a deep breath, and as an action, she is going to end the fear that is that in the casket. She is able to take a deep breath and dissipate that feeling of being buried alive. And she is going to use bonus action Flurry of Blows here and make a few
I think you pissed her off, dude.
unarmed strikes.
Uh-oh.
And yes, she's going to attack the vampire here. It's a 21 to hit, and she's
yes.
going to use a gonna try and stun you. And so you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
11.
11. You fail, and so she smacks you in the face, and you are incapacitated. You can't move. You automatically fail strength or dexterity, and any attack rolls against you have advantage until till the end of your next turn. And so that is how long you are stunned for. Then you took 12 points of damage with that. She is going to. Let's see. She can't break the grapple because that takes an action. She's already used her action, even though you already automatically fail strength things, but I'd have to actually try and get out at this point. So she's going to hit you again with an unarmed strike. 23 to hit, 7 points of bludgeoning damage as well. And that is all she can do. She had to use her action to get all of the fear out. And next is Bartholomew.
All right. So I'm going to look back to the thing that she was leaning on real fast. Does that look like a statue of Baal from what I know of, like the D&D manuals that I've read through?
It does not look
can I
like the
tell from
statue. You can look at it. It does not look like Baal from D&D.
Okay. After seeing Buffy get I knocked her down. I know I did that, but now she's been grappled. She's been horrified. Bitten
She's
a
no
few
longer
times.
prone, so she is standing up.
Oh, she is. Okay, but still grappled, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna take a few swipes at her. So just swiping with my claws as she's being held. Is that advantage or not?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no advantage.
23.
That hits.
And then 17 points of damage.
17. Okay.
And then another claw swipe from the other side. That's a nat 20.
No, jeez.
Oh man, the math on this one. Okay. That is 27 from that one.
Okay.
And then I'm going to... How's she looking right now, I guess?
She looks extremely bad.
Okay.
Very, very, very bad. You have ripped into her, and she has been absolutely decimated by you guys.
Okay.
It's good.
This feels very unsportsmanlike for someone who
Fuck
I'm
it,
assuming
do
I
it.
recognize from TV. Yeah. But yeah. So take my last swipe. 21.
To hit, yes, that hits.
And then 15 of slashing.
And that will do it for Buffy. And so you slash at her. You guys absolutely decimated her. You slash at her, and you are like scratching her like a cat scratches a pole, like one of those like a leg of a chair or something, and she tries to get out of a grapple. She reaches for her silver sword, looking at you, and then just collapses beneath you. And we are out of initiative, and you guys just took down a level 20 Monk Ranger multi-class very easily without much, which
Dab.
based on the Sierra calculators, it was not going to go well for her very much at all. So but
I was still afraid personally that she might
I
win.
was afraid.
she tried to do all the damage she could, but man, when she having to use her action to get out of the fright, really the fear really made it tough for her. But that's it. She's done, and you are in the cavern, and it is quiet.
I
So
can't
Theo
believe she's such an
immediately-
asshole in real life.
So while Corey is having a panic attack about how Buffy doesn't stand up to his standards in his head, Theo gets over to Wanda, who was savaged and absolutely targeted during this.
Oh,
this
she's
fight,
like half dead.
to check in on her and see if she's okay.
She just
Does she have
gives-
steaks sticking out of her? Is she bleeding?
Give her some candy.
Hey, here, Wanda, you can have my candy. I know it's like the one night a year I can have it, but you don't look too great.
She just pulls her candy bag out from behind her back, but save yours just in case, and just starts like her candy. No, yeah, just pulling the steak out of her chest or whatever.
Can you still drink her blood to feel better?
Well, isn't she just a costume now? Isn't she just a costume sitting on the floor?
Yep, her body is still there.
Okay.
That's unsettling.
That's kind of gross, though.
Wait, I think Wanda got one of those large Reese cup candies from the maze.
Yeah.
Those normally come in a 3-pack, right? So maybe she hands it each person gets a Reese's cup.
Nice.
Well,
Oh, that's nice.
Thala still has this candy, I guess.
Well,
I don't really. I feel
Theo
fine.
pushes it back at her he's okay.
Yeah,
You were the one who
you were a
half
little
died.
targeted there.
You take it.
Plus, each candy's only worth 1 hit point, so it's a nice
True.
gesture.
She just takes it and shoves it in her mouth.
And so you're standing in the cavern eating the candy. You have this statue of this demon close to you. And what would you like to do at this point?
I'm gonna sneak one of my pieces of candy because I realize it's getting late tonight.
So you guys are just sitting around snacking on candy.
Hey,
No, I'm
Should we do
very
something?
nonchalantly.
this is a cool looking. Guys, see how metal that statue is? It's a cool demon.
Well, so Theo looks down and realizes that this unlike Jason Voorhees, this body has not evaporated or disappeared, and sees the silver sword and the stake right next to her hands. And kind of clumsily takes both of them in his hands and chucks them into the water, into the whatever basin or lake that's next to them. Just can't hurt. Let's be sure.
We're
gonna take care of
No
this.
one's taking care of this amulet. I'm gonna go grab it.
Yeah.
And look at the statue.
Okay, you grab the amulet and you look up at the statue. And roll an investigation real
That's
quick.
exactly what I didn't want to be the one doing. How's a 9 sound?
A 9. You're able to see something fairly obvious on the statue. There is this carving, this necklace that goes around it, and then a very clear indentation where there is a spot for an amulet that can go into its chest, it is attaching to the necklace around it. You see some text on the base of the statue. It's in a different language. You're not even sure what the language is with the investigation check, but there is some text on the bottom, and that's what you see.
So Theo blinks over and kind of looks at the
Jesus
text
Christ! Stop doing that.
I can't
Ow,
help
my
it.
tongue hurts from saying that name.
But kind of reads it, and so he can understand deep speech. Can he understand the text?
He cannot.
I read in
So he looks back at
for all bragging.
he looks back at Thala and is like, "We need you."
Oh, I'll come take a look.
I'm not taking time to read. Fuck this.
Roll a history, not a history check.
Who's
Just roll an
rolling this?
intelligence check. Whoever's trying to read the text.
You do
See
not
what it
want
is.
me to
I'm
do
gonna
this.
try to read it,
Thala can do
Okay.
it as I'm floating up and putting it in.
but I'm stuck doing it as actual Thala and not Barty, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, Barty 2 if it's higher.
Oh no, I'm a 0 with both. I'm 18.
Oh, an 18. Okay. So you are able to read and see that it is in Hebrew. The text is, and you're able for some odd reason in your history of looking into all these D&D type demon deities, you had looked and read about the similarities of the name Baal, but also there's an ancient old god named Baal, and that is the text that you can see is the label on this thing is Baal as the ancient Hebrew false god, and so that is what you read.
Hey Corey, I can actually read that, and I think you should put the amulet there.
Way ahead of you, dude.
So you place the amulet into the chest of the statue of Baal, and Corey, you immediately feel your horns fall off. The rest of you feel your claws retract, your fangs reduced, your bag-type body becoming a formed body once again, and Wanda, you feel your heart start beating once again, and your heartbeat is back, and you are standing in the cavern together as your human selves. And you make your way out of the cavern, out of Marianne's costume shop, and back to the town square. Wanda and Theo, you run to embrace your mother and father. Bartholomew, your mother and father embrace you. And Corey, you see your parents dressed up in their goofy costumes, and they rush towards you and lift you up in their arms and squeeze my little rocker's back. And as this wonderful, beautiful moment is happening in the town square with all of these children rushing and meeting back with their families, the camera pans up into the sky, and you see the destruction that has happened in Salem Heights, this town that is almost irreparably broken. The camera zooms out, and we are back in the Talltale Tavern, where our storyteller, our young Reptar, finishes her story. All is quiet in the tavern for a moment, and then a rustling of pages is heard from every bookshelf lining the walls. Soon, papers from around the room start swirling rapidly through the air between chairs and under tables. The leaves are caught in the action as well as the patrons hold onto their latte cups and their laptops. The pages coalesce in the center into a small book, a book with black scales and teeth around the edges and a single eye on the cover. And that book is floating in the air, and the air is quiet once again as golden letters engrave themselves on the cover, and the title Monster Bash is clearly seen. The book gracefully makes its way to one of the bookshelves lining the wall and finds its place among the stories. And thus concludes our 5th story in the Talltale Tavern. Woo! Thank you to all the players this month, Mav, Rachel, Brian, and Scott. Their socials can be found in the description. If you'd like to see the video of the episode, it'll be up on our YouTube. Follow us at Talltale Tavern Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. If you like us, give us one of those good 5-star reviews, and join our Discord too. Thank you to Tyler Adelsperger for our intro music. Thank you to Zaezar for our artwork. And with that, we'll see you next time at the Talltale Tavern.
Woo! Just want to add, when we were zooming out and seeing the devastation of the town, I like to picture Bartholomew's house is the only one ablaze. And I see
I meant to bring that. I meant to say that and I forgot.